Can I get an audio check out there? Audio check? My, oops, sorry, hold on. Forgot to clip the mic on. Can I get an audio check? Because that didn't sound right. I might need to unplug the sound card, or the sound thing, and plug it back in. If I sound like super crackly to you guys, because my desktop audio sounded real bad. That was real bad. Try it again. Oh, it's like real crunchy. I don't know what to do about that. What if I reload the page? Ooh, it's bad. Ooh, it's bad. It's real bad. Ooh, it's real bad. Fine on the mobile app? All right, well, if my audio's okay, it's just if you guys can hear that music, it was like bad. It's like something's crackling and weird. Crackling and weird. It's real not good. Really not good. What did I do about this last time? I'm trying to remember. I think I just unplugged and plugged back in the sound card, which I guess I'm gonna try, and it might break. OBS might not be happy with what I do, but I'll give it a shot. Try it out. This is gonna fall. Pushed back a little bit. Hold on. What are you up against? Okay, good enough. This stuff's walking forward. Walking forwards. All right, let's see. It's just a USB plug in the back of this thing. You'll probably get a pop. I don't really actually know what it sounds like when I do that on this. Why am I on number 2? I thought it was on number... Why am I on number 2? See what happens. How's that sound? You guys all right? My audio still registers. That's good. How's it going, Red Dog? Let's see what my desktop sounds like. Much better. Much better. Okay. There we go. Same as before. Okay, good. Good. It's just my own, whatever the sound, USB sound thing was doing. It was like, and so it was like real hard to listen to. So I'm back. All right. You may not recognize me because of the red arm, but yeah, I'm gonna do some USB stuff today. At least to start off. It'll take like 2 minutes. Hopefully we can build all this stuff into the sim setup very quickly, so that I have the ability to switch between USB devices for the output from the box. That way I can pack it up and I can move it into another room where it will never bother me again. I don't know if we'll do a stream with it this weekend, so. Yeah, no, I got my head expanded is what I got. I expanded my head. The barber took one look at my hair and he was like, "You haven't gotten a haircut for 3 months, have you?" I'm like, yeah, I think he got it exactly right. Have to figure out how the hell we're gonna even do this. I guess we can use this as the output to the computer. We can plug something into this and just see if it can function through the mux, and then we need to figure out, you know, how to hook everything up. So that shouldn't take long. That's not that complicated. It's gonna take 5 hours, isn't it? It's gonna take 5 hours. You just know it is. So yeah, and then I got back and I sheared off all of the excess mustache. The thermal cam, there's a command for all the exact stuff, but it is a group gets pure thermal webcam module with a Lepton 3.1 thermal camera in it. And then we designed and 3D printed a little enclosure that it goes in, because it used to just be taped. It used to just be taped up to this thing, and the thermal cam would get nudged and then fall out, which is really bad. And so over time, I actually have a dead pure thermal camera, which one of the, it's like my extra just in case. One of the little latches for the lens, the plastic blocker that goes over the lens, one of those catches broke, and so it doesn't reliably close and open anymore. That little close and open is very important because the webcam module can tend to drift. All of the pixels will drift in the temperatures that they're seeing, and so what it does is it shuts a plastic lens over top of itself, and that plastic lens is hopefully a uniform temperature enough that it calibrates, opens it up again, and you get good visuals. But yeah, that's the thermal cam. There it is, in all of its glory. Glorious thermal cam. Look at it go. Why is the outside of my arm weirdly hotter than the rest of it? I guess that's just where the blood is. It's actually very low resolution compared to stuff that's actually available today. Pretty low resolution for a thermal camera. When you get into the higher resolutions, they get much more expensive. The cost is just balloons. Hey, thank you guys for the follows. Everything else is from 2 days ago. I got one yesterday and then 3 minutes ago. Good stuff. Yeah, what is it? Gonad posted, I forget where at this point, but there's another thermal camera module, and it goes on your phone. Got much better resolution, probably a better frame rate too, because ITAR restrictions are not exactly up to date. Well, it's more like the technology came out and there were ITAR restrictions to keep the enemies of America from putting them into like missiles. You can't get certain frame rates, right? Yeah, I think you might be right. It might be FLIR 1. In order to keep America safe, you couldn't export anything like that, and so they're still under ITAR restrictions. But everyone else is caught up with the state of the art, I guess, or at least this other module did. So they've got a much higher resolution and a higher frame rate. It's a nice little webcam module. I'd love to get one, but they're still prohibitively expensive. I mean, in terms of what I'm willing to spend on studio equipment, this thing was like probably $400, and even just getting to the point where I knew what I needed was also expensive. We started off with this whole thermal like webcam, and it was using a teensy 3.6, and it was actually pretty slow, but at least I had the functionality of being able to touch the screen and have it tell me a temperature of something, like an exact temperature, which is pretty cool. I saw an ad on Reddit today that got me angry. I actually got physically angry at a Reddit ad, which I shouldn't, but on my phone, I get all the ads and shit. And it's one of these things that's designed to look like a post, but it was an ad for the Libre glucose monitor, and it was like, what was it again? It's like your like, I didn't say infusion set. Maybe it's still up on my phone. I'll just read it to you guys. Like I shut my phone off. Yeah, myth: wearing a CGM can hurt. Fact: it doesn't. CGMs like the Freestyle Libre 2 system can be a positive experience, like it is for blah 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 celebrity. Abbott Pharmaceuticals, I got some news for you, man. Like, these things don't hurt like infusion sets can, because it's just like a little wire that goes under the skin. But the site around the CGM sensor, if you have it in a place where you're like leaning on it and stuff, this also happens with the Omnipods, it can bruise you. Like, this is a piece of plastic that you're wearing on, like, medical taped to your body, right? And so I have one on my shoulder right now, right? I've been going back and forth with my shoulders because it's, I don't know, it's like my shoulder mounted rocket pod. I'm like a mech. Super cool. Anyway, I've been doing the shoulders because it gets it out of the way of any other infusion site that I want to use. And it is a nice spot where my phone can always get Bluetooth reception. However, I got a haircut. Some people have already noticed. And so a lot of hair went shoop right up against the CGM, and it itches now. It's pretty itchy. Not to mention the fact that sleeping on this side, I can put pressure on it, and that hurts. CGMs generally don't, like, there's no, like, insertion pain or anything like that. If there is, it's very temporary, because it's just like a little wire. But again, the cost of having a piece of plastic like band-aided to you at all times is that it can get irritated and leave a bruise. And I've had abdominal bruises from rolling around on the floor with a dog while wearing an Omnipod, a little plastic thing. No, there's nothing like that. I saw a Japanese, I think it was Japanese, it was a bed that had like a trough in it, so that you could sleep with your arm like on the trough without having to like put pressure on your arm in a weird way. I just have to make like a mega stack of pillows so that I'm propped up. I sleep like the Coneheads. I actually have a cutout in the bed that's my shape, and I just walk into it, and then I stand still for about 6 hours. Okay, listen, print a roll cage to go around my arm so that I don't put pressure. There's still plastic pressure. Like, you're just kicking the can down the road. It's not even the right road. I think getting like corrosion on it. What is that? Weird. Stop it. I know we attract kind of an engineer crowd, and engineers want to solve every problem. I don't need to solve this. I mean, great, that might be nice to solve this problem, but I just sleep on my other side. Like, you know? It's not like it doesn't need a thing. I don't need a thing. You guys think like that. Everything is a problem that I have to solve with my expertise. Yeah, you guys will end up like that semi-popular, more popular than me, a dude who makes impractical inventions. I don't like him. He's a perfectly fine person, I'm sure. I'm just not a fan of the content. Launch yourself into space. That's right. That's a good way to do it. Yeah, there's a lot. That guy does a lot of good stuff. Humor, engineering, 3D printing. It's cool. It's cool stuff. It's just not for me. It's not for me. I would love to finally actually get this thing running. How do I get all of my tiles onto this thing? Start using it. Oh, there's even dust in the cable. What's up, Ace 1 through 4? Ew, Stream Deck. You guys. I know, it's the... and again, the engineering crowd. Why don't you just make a thing with buttons on it? Well, because I don't want everything to fucking explode on me like it has been. I've been in a phase. Sometimes you get into phases with this stuff, and I've been in an everything is breaking phase. I got pulled over yesterday on the way to my haircut. I got pulled over because my inspection sticker is 2 years out of date. Ooh, it's a 2021 sticker. Stream Decks are great. Elgato software, not so much. It's what I'm getting at is like everything here is breaking. Everything's breaking, right? And I was really trying to get my car inspected, but stuff kept breaking. As I fixed things, other stuff was breaking, and sometimes you don't want to deal with your custom DIY solution breaking. What are you talking about? In the United States, you have to get your car inspected so that it is roadworthy. It's not a terrible thing, but it's, you know, it's something that happens in certain states. Other states determine that the car is just like good to go because it's a newer car. I guess Pennsylvania is not like that. And my car is like 20 years old, so I could probably waive the inspection in order to get antique plates, but then you have driving restrictions with antique plates. So anyway, I get pulled over on the way to my haircut. What's up, St. Wiggly? Subbing for 49 months with a Prime. Thank you so much for that Prime. My recent trials and tribulations. I don't know if St. Wiggly has heard any of this because we haven't been in contact, but I went to fix the ABS. It turns out it was a pre-compressing motor that none of the other cars have, and I got off of eBay. replace that, but then there's bubbles in the system, so I was able to actually do some emergency stops in the pouring rain, but the pedal was really, really weak. So I went all the way to Maryland with a very weak pedal. I ended up getting it home, and then the minute I got it home, I just temporarily jacked one corner, bled, big bubbles came out of it, and at that point, the ABS decided that the motor was seized. So I suspect that either in the module, the MOSFET is bad, or this motor, like its predecessor, the one that I have sitting right frickin' here, decided one day that it would just kind of seize up like this one has, possibly from being dry. When the car was doing e-stops, when I first put the other one in, it worked. Don't know what happened there. So anyway, my ABS is still bad. In the meantime, my battery died, and I put a new battery in there. New battery killed my 5th brake light that I got back over here and opened up, and it was all corroded. All the layers of the circuit board come apart. So I tried to fix it via soldering, and I failed because some of the LEDs were permanently broken. So I bought a new one on eBay, and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. Can't get inspected until I have that 3rd brake light. That's what I told the cop, and they weren't having it. They said, you haven't had an inspection for 2 years. I am giving you the citation. All right, fine. That's fair. I ran from the last cop that tried to get me for that. I pulled into a side street and then a corporate parking lot, and then I parked the car and snuck out of it and sort of like found a perch to watch as the cop went by. Anyway, so waiting for a 3rd brake light in the mail. My stereo stopped working at that point when I put the new battery in, and it's like, why? So I read stuff online, and there's all kinds of stuff that they say to try to get your radio working, like starting it up again and again and again. But I think they're talking about the DSP module that has a brain in it. My stereo does not have a brain, but we've been through every single piece of my stereo, including the display in the middle of the car that has, yeah, I literally waited for the star rating to go down. The module has an LCD that they use this evil cable on, and that was going bad. So I had the kit to rebuild. So we rebuilt that. We put LEDs in there instead of lamps because some of the lamps were dead. So now the center of my car, pristine, looks perfect. We looked at the stereo too. The CD player unit is what has all the receiver stuff in it. And there's nothing that we could see that was wrong with it. Put everything back in, took the oscilloscope out to the garage again. I really need to get one of those multimeter sized oscilloscopes. There's a 3-in-1 that I'm really eyeballing that I'd like to get as soon as stream and subs and stuff budget it. But anyway, so back out to the car, extension cables, oscilloscope. I saw audio at the amplifier. Well, I had previously taken the amplifier out and I had it on the healing bench, and I found corrosion and I cleaned it off. Everything was looking perfect, except that it wasn't. Under the connector is where the moisture pooled, and under the connector is where the positive lead is, and that completely eroded away. So I already had a new one on order. I fixed it anyway. It works. It's sitting over there. The one that I ordered is in the car right now. My stereo works again. This has been the story of my car over the past couple months. New battery, new pump. Pump doesn't work. My next course of action is to get under the car again. This time with the car starter / battery charger, and put 2 leads directly into the pump and see if it pumps. And if it does, that means that the MOSFET's bad. If it doesn't, I may need to take it apart. I don't want to take it out of the car. I don't want to like take it off of the brake system because I don't want to have to bleed it again. I may need to take off the 2 bolts, remove the motor, and then use this, the other little spring pinion that comes with it, to get a wrench on here and twist it and unstick it. What a bunch of piss. There's been a bunch of piss. My winter car. That's what it feels like. You know, we're from Pennsylvania. We know what it's like to work on very cold cars. We've been in the throes of a kerosene heater that can barely put out enough BTUs to keep the garage from being dangerously cold, and then also working on cars with frozen hands. I had to get rid of a set of gloves that I was using because it got too full of brake stuff. But I've got another set that are just purely there for warmth. But good to meet another Twitch PA native. Hell yeah. Yeah. Been here. I'm one of these lifers for PA. I went to Virginia for a little while to do like work. And then I came back here to do a medical design job that I got fucking fired from. And here I am. I'll never get used to the cold. It's terrible to work with metal. God, I gotta address rust under my car. There's rust in certain places. Nothing's Working has been posting stuff in the Discord on the work that he does, and it's amazing. Pulling these cars and just taking sections out of them and welding new stuff in. I gave my welder to St. Wiggly because I can't use it here. I did use it at one point trying to put together the wheel project, and I failed so completely. I got like a couple beads on there, and then I took it back into here, and it just fell apart. It's like, oh. I don't know. If I get another welder, I would like to get a TIG, because at least I could use that in here to some degree. Probably not a good idea to weld inside. I really need to use this thing, though. The old one is MIG, and I had the gas and everything, but I you know what? I don't think I did have the gas at the time. So what I did is I used like the flux rod or whatever. I gotta just plug this thing in, like enough is enough. I can access more stuff at once and display more things at once by using this one. And it's USB-C. Or maybe I should wait. That's why this thing hasn't actually been... it's always... maybe I should give it a minute. Alright, I'm gonna put it over here. I'll play with this when the stream's over. Actually, I'm gonna play with the puppy dog when the stream's over. I want to get a TIG and learn, but it's so expensive just to start up. Yeah, to me, it feels like I'm better in control. I'm more of a solderer, so I'm used to using two hands to do a thing. And I just feel like it's more comfortable to, you know, put your hand down and then do little swirlies. That's my opinion on it, though. I haven't had much experience TIG welding. Friend of mine at his shop, he was like, try it out for a little while, and he had like an insane, like the fucking welder like knew my name. It's like, hello Jesse, would you like to weld now? And I'm like, why are you this smart? What's your problem? So I was able to do some TIG welding. We tried for my brewing system, we tried to TIG weld the fittings on, and the material of the pot was too thin, so it kind of was a disaster. But I ended up brazing it with a food safe brazing, like stainless steel brazing compound. Worked perfectly. It's actually really cool to have screw bungs on all of your connections for the indoor electric brewing system, which we haven't used in 3 years. But anyway, that's my experience with welding, and the MIG I had. St. Wiggly was the only person to use the MIG welder for a purpose in its lifetime, because we welded a floor pan back onto a Jaguar XJS. And that's like the only thing that it's done that's useful, other than build its own stand out of angle irons. Shielding gas helps. Yeah, it does indeed. Welded a workbench from angle iron, casters, and a 12-foot by 4-foot butcher's table. Yeah, I like my butcher's blocks. I've got many of them, and I've got one that's actually waiting in the other room for us to design I want to say fraction rail, but like an 80-20 stand with wheels for it. I'd like to get a rack in there too for rack mount stuff. Yeah, they're big. The butcher blocks are awesome though. They're really nice. It all costs money with a 5-month sub. Good morning. May your solders, I was gonna say soldiers, solders be on point and your mods successful. I hope. All the custom stuff that we do around here tends to build like a house of cards. It builds on itself like a house of cards, and suddenly my capability is so specialized and fragile that things just start to kind of cascade break down. That's exactly what's happening to my car, and that's just because it was previously an indoor car, so all of these problems were kind of kept in stasis until I put it outside and all the water got into everything. But anyway, it happens around here, because... For instance, like the thermal camera is an amalgamation of a couple different things, and over time, things can go wrong. And when they do, it just kind of hits other stuff, and things just kind of get out of hand. So we need to take the time in the next couple months to go back over a lot of this stuff, and for me to reinvent a lot of things. I reinvented my look by getting a haircut for the first time in 3 months and trimming the beard. I'll have to be a little bit more regular about that. Weird result for getting my hair cut, well, getting several of my hairs cut. You guys all wanted to make the dad joke, but I did it because I got the microphone. I feel more awake with a haircut. I don't know why. I don't know why that had an effect, but I just, for some reason, maybe it's just the scalp lightness that makes me feel a little bit more attentive and awake. It's like reinventing yourself. Butcher block out of a slaughterhouse that was shut down? Oh, damn. See, my butcher blocks have been new, and I really need to coat these tables, the ones that I use for the shop stuff. That's not going to happen unless I move. If I move, then I'll coat the tables. But the stuff that I want to use is actually tung oil, and it takes like a month for them to actually set and everything. And when they do, they're nigh on indestructible. The advantage of the butcher block for these tables is that eventually my oils and all the abuse, all the chemicals and abuse kind of soaks into the wood a little bit, and then you sand the entire top, and it's a perfectly flat surface again. And I also don't do metal workbenches because these are quiet. These are quiet. They don't, I can do this. Speaking of reinventing, I have to scrap my current server project. Apparently, the hardware's sold that I shouldn't invest in anything into them. Ah, you're like really excited about that too. I got some old server stuff, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean. I don't actually know what I mean. That's the problem, is I don't know. It just sounded like something that I could say. I'm sorry. Yeah. The one thing that would vastly improve my outlook on life is if we finally finished the front panel for my rack mount computer, and I got all of this hardware up into it so that my rack is just simply all of the stuff that I use to stream. One of the other parts about that project is that I need to clean up all of this crap. Look at all the I've got from my grandmother's apartment. I found a thing of New Hampshire absolutely pure maple syrup. They used to live in New Hampshire. This is from the 80s, or no, 90s, I believe. I think we tracked it down to 1990. Yeah, copyright 1984 on the bottom of it. This is still full of maple syrup too. Why is this here? I need like a curio. I need like a place to put stuff to look at. It's like a storefront. But I need to clear off all the stuff up here on the shelf, and I need to move this monitor up here because that would be much more functional, even though the microscope would kind of get in the way of that monitor. Finish more projects I start as a New Year's resolution. That's a good one. That's a good one because it's nebulous, right? As long as you feel you're making progress on it, that's good. You don't want to discourage yourself with those resolutions. I didn't really make a resolution this year. I don't want to try for anything. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna sit here and just not do anything. I can't sit still. I can't sit still. It's impossible. It's impossible for me to sit still. The other thing that I want to get into this year is the modular synth realm, but I don't want to buy my way through it. I might buy some essentials, but I want to make the power supply myself. I want to make the modules myself. I've got some ideas for modules and how they'll function. I need to figure out if there's a chip that I can use to turn 0 to 1 volt into a binary number, 1 of 4 or 1 of 8, right? 1 of 4, 1 of 8, and then I can use the max 308s and 309s to make a mux/demux, and I can make 2 or 3 of those modules, and then that would allow me to manipulate other modules to make cool sounds. So yeah, that's well, yeah, and that's kind of where we got synth is in music synth. Yeah, Eurorack synth. They're a really good way to throw money at something and get nothing out. Well, yeah, I guess it would be a very rudimentary ADC, right? Make a 4-bit ADC or something. That's like a 1-bit ADC. I don't know, but yeah, I think I can do that with like a resistor ladder or something. Because yeah, you with modular synths, you have audio channels and then you have control channels, and the control channels are a 0 to 1 volt signal. So I figure what I can do is I can use max 308s and 309s to make muxes. We've got all kinds of other toys sitting around. So I would like to make some weird custom Oh Bother modules. In addition to that, I have a nice little system where I can print text in bubbles, and that way I can make all the front panels, so I don't have to do a ton of metalworking. Oh, 0 to 10 volt? Really? Ah, I misread. I'm off by a little bit. More on occasion. Why would you want more than 10 volts? I thought they were using 1 volt because they're using audio wires for everything. Why not keep yourself from blowing up your own hardware by accidentally plugging a control cable into an audio channel? It just kind of seems like a thing that you want to do, right? 10 volts, goddamn. The vacuum tubes or some shit? Well, anyway, the point is that I would like to play with that a little bit and you know, make a couple modules. No such considerations. I guess that's the weird beard aspect of modular, is that you have to know enough about your setup, you see. Hold on, I have to adjust my beard so that I can see what I plugged into. Audio 5 volt peak to peak with a 2.5 volt offset. Standard stuff. I guess you get double your audio out of a bad control signal. But yeah, I want to make some weird stuff. I've got FPGA and FPGA and the hardware to do the D to A, the A to D. We could make a module for that. I actually would rather. Well, I'll have to get another one then because I want to use the FPGA to do my lapel microphone. Instead of running VSTs, I want to get that functionality into an FPGA and then put that in a box so that I can plug 2 mics in and I can have another person here talking and they have their own individual audio. Instead of having, you know, just Julian come in and bring his own mic, or having a fucking peanut gallery behind me where they can't even talk to me. Yeah. But we're working on something else right now. We're working on a steering wheel. I want to set up a little USB test so we can see if the mux that I have can do this job. And if it can't, I'll have to just figure something else out. Because basically I want 3 selections, and I want those 3 selections to switch USB between 3 devices. So I'll have to do a quick little rudimentary test on it and see if it works. That's basically just putting USB into the chip and seeing if it comes out intact. I read a bunch about modular, and I don't know why I thought it was 1 volt. I guess I'm just completely wrong about that. I must have misread. I was probably skimming. Oh God, what is my Twitch alert? Last chance to sign up. Partner exclusive office hours. Spots are limited. Twitch partnerships as partner exclusive. What does that even mean? Why do I want to RSVP for office hours? I'm gonna close that. Close the hell out of that. Oh yeah, and I got a Bruce Green sub. Hell yeah. Babol 7448. That guy gets a lot of subs. All right. Should we get going? Should we I'll leave. I could just leave. I'll go. You guys can handle this. We should get started is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Because I just want to plug all this stuff in and see if it works. Favorite tech Twitch person. Is it my complete lack of focus on any one singular project? For some reason, that's been an advantage of my channel, is that I jump from thing to thing. Mostly it's because I can only stomach something for so long. That leaves in my wake a ton of unfinished and unrealized projects that I wish I could do. I look at the pace that other people go in, and they're like project. They're like finishing stuff all the time. I leave it in my wake just like a mess. I mean, look at this place. It fucking sucks. But I'm gonna try to get a little better at that. You flatter me unnecessarily. I guess part of the advantage to this channel is that I'm learning everything as I go, and I suck. I fucking suck at all this stuff. So you can relate in that sense, and also I end up going over a lot of the stuff that people who are good at this don't. But just purely by virtue of being terrible at everything, he's managed to fail so hard that the needle has gone around the dial and it's back into the success realm. I've taken apart 5 car stereos and all of them use Sanyo LC blah 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 LCD driver chip and the removable screen unit. So you can drive those screen modules pretty easily. I have also, I mean, not like even without car stereos, we took apart my one drop glucometer, and it had one of these little OLED screens. I have it in preservation mode right now, so I got tape all over this thing. But this is a little I2C screen, and they're like a couple bucks, and I got a bunch of them. So if I need to put a screen on a specific module for the use in modular, I've got this tiny little thing that I can put text on. So we're about to get started here, so we might as well get started. Where's the music coming from anyway? Is that just in my head? I think it is just, it's just like a clapping. Somebody's snapping their fingers like, oh, here it is. All right, let's get this out of here. You guys can probably barely hear it. I don't get to listen to this mix, so I don't know how potent the music is. Let's get that out of there. This computer needs to be restarted at some point. It's starting to get a little weird. Hi. 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 Hello. Hello. Hi. Welcome to my stream. We're actually kind of doing miscellaneous projects at the moment, and what that's gotten us into is me trying to improve my steering wheel setup. I can show you guys the steering wheel if I jump around over here. There's a lot of crap in the shop right now, so just ignore the way that I live. But this thing right here, and this thing right here, and the control box that's on the desk right now, those are my steering wheel setup. It's a Mercedes S-Class wheel on a 3-phase, 2-horsepower motor with its own new encoder on it. Actual BMW pedals with a load cell in the brakes. Oh yeah, and a 3D printed shifter that you can barely see. It's around the corner. Hard to emphasize something when the background is so busy. The problem with my steering wheel setup isn't a big problem. It actually works really, really nicely and plays My Summer Car quite a bit. Oh Lord, your car brakes a lot. It's not. That's my steering wheel setup. It's on my car. But I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm getting over all the problems. We'll get there. Anyway, so this is the control box for the steering wheel setup, right? We have a Granite Devices Simu Cube, which makes a lot of simulation people very, very poor. It's not a cheap system, but it works really well. Anyway, Granite Devices Simu Cube. It's hooked up to outputs and stuff like that. We have a 48-volt, 480-watt power supply. It's like enormous. It's ridiculous. Fans over here. The Granite Devices why is that bent? Why is it all bent? I think I must have run into this. Jeez, gotta be careful. Anyway, yeah, all this wonderful stuff. We have the Granite Devices Simu Cube that's hooked up to our own board. This board is creating 12 volts for the LIN bus and car accessories. It's creating 5 volts for itself. It's got a little LIN bus modem. This is how we communicate with the steering wheel. It has port expanders. Well, this thing was a port expander, which is designed to flip switches, essentially, based on the digital signal of the LIN bus. And then I've got 2 dual digital potentiometers that emulate just a potentiometer going back and forth, right? Because that's how the Granite Devices Simu Cube works. If Granite Devices would be kind enough to publish some kind of an API for a board that they really don't want to support anymore, and they begrudgingly do, I could eliminate all of this peripheral nonsense and a lot of this cabling in here. I would very much appreciate that, but they won't. We had somebody come on stream at one point and say that they were from Granite Devices and that they were looking at publishing an API soon, and that was 4 years ago. So whatever. Anyway, this is kind of a finished project. It's just that in order to access all the devices that are inside of this enclosure, there are 2 USB connections for the Granite Devices board and 1 for the microcontroller. And this is something that we just recently ran into problems with, is that when I have this thing mounted where it goes on the pedal thing, I have to undo a lot of stuff in order to get all the way down to this level where I can program the microcontroller and stuff. So if I, for instance, want to move some of the buttons around on this thing and not do that in software, well, it is technically doing it in software, but anyway, I have to take apart the whole thing. And so what I did is I actually, because there are 2 USB ports on this, on the Granite Devices thing, because if you want to tune your motor, you go to 1 USB port. If you want to plug into the actual steering wheel setup, that's a different one. So people put a lot of USBs on the outside of their enclosures, but this thing is a discarded laser power supply case that I'm using, and I would like to continue to use it. So I have 1 USB plug on the outside of this thing, right, in just a spot where it fits, and over here I have a switch. And so just very rudimentarily, this thing just switches between the 2 Granite Devices devices. But it turned out in recent past that I had to actually plug into the module itself. We got some other tricks up our sleeves with this module. There's some special stuff that this one does. We reverse engineered the entire Bluetooth low energy stack and had this thing pretending to be a wireless Bluetooth steering wheel because we can, and because I needed the extra buttons. So this thing is doing a whole lot, and it's prone to having little problems, so I have to plug into it. What is this weird scar? Anyway, I have to plug into that thing. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to set up a mux. It's just a little stupid idea that I had. I bought this thinking it would be a little bit more simple. This is a USB switcher. You have 4 PCs plugged in over here, and then you have your keyboard, mouse, etc. on these, and you can just flip between the PCs, right? Well, it turns out this thing is a little bit more complicated than we anticipated. There's a couple chips in here that might be useful for us, but my main deterrent from actually using it is the fact that these are on a little 4-port hub chip. Then there's a switcher chip, and then there's a chip that I think just runs the buttons. There's 3 brains running this show, and it just won't really work out for us because I would have my 3 devices plugged in here and then 1 computer. It would be my computer plugged in here and my 3 peripheral devices. It's all wrong. So I found the short probing around my finger touch mode, so you really get, oh yeah. Thermal camera is it's kind of useful. Soon means over a decade later. Well, yeah. Yeah, it would be nice if they would publish that API. It would totally invalidate all the work that we've done on this system to date. It's this whole project with a digital API that my microcontroller could just speak in terms of TX and RX, which probably already exists. I'm not about to reverse engineer that because I don't even know where I'd start. Instead of faking being a bunch of modules, we would have just had to go into the LIN bus and say, oh, that's what it's saying. And then I, make the LIN bus peripherals, and then I could just speak directly to this thing in all of the clarity that I need and all the buttons that I'd need to hit. Sigh. It would have been nice. But anyway, this project is pretty good. It's been going well. What I'd like to do is get all the way down to this switch, remove it, and I would like instead to have a selector. And so this thing is what we found. It's the most appropriate piece because it'll fit right there. This is just like an 8-position selector. This is back from the day when you had like codes that would keep things safe. You'd have like a little mystery code that you could key in by opening up your device and then keying in one of these things. This is what I'd like to put in there. Now I only need 3 of the positions of this thing, but this thing doesn't have any way to like stop it from rotating all the way around. So I guess the other positions will just be invalid. We only need the first couple bits of whatever's selected. So we'd need a 0, a 1, and a 2. And the mux that we've chosen uses binary, and it uses 2 bits. The other one have 3 bits? I think it does. But yeah, there's only 4 positions on the mux that we're using. So it'll just be like, 0, 1, and 2, and then nothing else will do anything. Our outputs are over here. I'm going to look up how this thing works, though. So A6A 10RW. A6A 10RW. A6A 10RW. Look at that. Omron Electronics. A division of DigiKey? What? Huh. Blah, 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 blah. Dip switches, etc., etc., etc. Data sheet? Maybe? Ah, there it is. Data sheets. This thing just called me a dip? You son of a bitch. I wish I had that one. That would have been a better one to put in. It's extended actuator wheel type. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You saying that's a different one? Hold on. Wait a minute. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Wait a minute. That's a different part number just so they could sell you this? Just so they could sell you this. They have a different part number. Okay. Weird. Could go crazy and make multiple positions for 3 settings. No. No, stop. Stop it. Let's see. 28 volts. Are you kidding me? There we go. That's all I needed. It's just the outputs. That's all I needed. So we'll send to the Maxim thing. I guess we're putting 5 volts on the common. Which one's common? Dot indicates that a internal switch is on. Why does 8 always light up? That's weird. Oh, BCD decimal complement code, BCD decimal code. So 1, 2, 4, and 8, and probably a common pin, right? They're not like telling us which one's which. Which pin is which? Well, they are numbered. There is plastic that's numbering it. So I guess I'll just look on that. It's on the like on the underside of the thing. They actually have the numbers of the pins, which is a nice little detail that not a lot of parts give you. It's nice when connectors have these too. They just number them straight up. So there's our common that we hook up to 5 volts, and then we're just taking 1 and 2. And that'll give us our 4 positions from 0 to 3, and that'll go directly into the mux. So now we know how to hook that thing up. I need to look up, I think we already have a Max 309, 308, 309 datasheet. It doesn't go to 11, it goes to 8. Only goes to 8. What's wrong with you? All right, let's get rid of this stuff. We don't need any of this anymore. Begone. So this is the Max 308. It's just what I happen to have in a bin. Oh yeah, don't you love that when they don't tell you what side you're looking at on the data sheet? Let's see. TSSOP. The Max 308 is the one that has 8 positions. We don't need that. We don't need that. We need 2 lines to be switched simultaneously because we're USB. Is this a 308 only data sheet? The hell? Where's my 309? What is this? There it is. So there's the Max 309, and that's the one that we're going to test out. So we have a, let's see, common A, common B, and then we have our outputs on either side. V plus, V minus. I believe V minus in this instance, we're just going to do ground. Ah, thank you. Yeah, it's been, the barber guessed almost exactly how long it's been since I had a haircut. He was not pleased with all the volume of hair that I had. It only took him like 10 minutes to cut my, it took him like 2 minutes to cut my hair. It was ridiculous. He's just like, oh, I gotta deal with all this hair. Boop, 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 boop. Done. Okay, what? So we have a 1, 0, and an enable. So we're just gonna permanently enable it. So enable is active. Active high. So we have to put power here, ground, power. Weird. 10 years younger. I feel more awake for some reason. Okay, all right. So we just have to hook this thing up. So I'm gonna pull both of these data sheets. I don't really need both of them, but let's just get this thing done. Boop. Top hasn't been cut in 6 months. The side and back have been cut last month. What are you going for, one of those Gen Z haircuts? Broccoli head? Or the shaved sides and the longer top that only looks good on muscular people? I was like, I should get a haircut to look like that. And I'm like, wait, I don't have muscles. I can't look as good as these people. You do anything with their hair and they'll look good. Let's put those circuit boards out of the way for right now. Straight. Oh, going for the Polonarf. All right, I don't use the bird's nest of jumpers on solderless breadboard because they're sloppy. They make for a very chaotic board. I am Gen Z. Well, hey, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Give me my knife. Jeez. Okay, I'm looking for the little wheel that goes on top of this thing because it just... There it is. Found it. I found it. Bassist from a rock band in the 90s haircut. What he described? There we go. The wheel has been returned. Now this thing goes here. So what I do with my breadboards is I do the rails in order to run power to everything. This is going to be a test setup. I don't know if we're going to use the scope on this yet. We will essentially be basically wiring this up, this mux, and then the switch. We're going to wire it up in the same way that it would be wired up in the final circuit. We're only going to send one channel of USB through the chip. The D- and the D+ will be sent through the chip, and then we'll have it go basically directly out and into the computer, and then we'll see what kind of, like, if we can get good USB signals on the other end. What are we going to use to test it? I don't know. Maybe I'll plug my Stream Deck in, and we'll see what happens. Oh, so I was right when I said broccoli. Bop. All right, we're a little close with the microscope right now. I'm going to see if I can get a little further away. The problem is that the optics don't agree with being further away. This is about as far as I can get you guys without seriously altering things. And then I want to move the control box a little bit out of here. I don't know if I have much space to, like, stack it on stuff, but get all this stuff out of the way so that I can actually hear myself think. Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm not wearing pants. Man, whatever happened to Team 4-Star? They still doing stuff? Guys, I can't emphasize how little I care about your hair. All right. That's moderately. It's still shifting. Get out of the way. What bandwidth is required for USB? I'm not really sure about that. USB 2.0 is probably where most of this hardware exists. And I can look it up. I don't know the number by heart. Boy, this thing is like, all the text is coming off of it and everything. So the Max 309 is actually this one, and we actually desoldered a 308 and put the 309 down. I've explained why I'm using a mux. I've already done that, and if you didn't hear me, I'll probably end up explaining it again. This is an SO16 form factor, 16 pins, surface mount, regular old chip. I don't use these a lot anymore. I mean, a lot of places are still using them. It's just when you get into higher tech stuff, our voltages are much smaller than this nowadays, and our chips are much smaller. It depends on, I guess, where you're getting it from or what technology you're taking apart. But I mean, most things have gone lower voltage, and quad flat no leads are pretty popular now because they're smaller. All right, so first things first. Let me get the window into the right spot so that I can glance over at the data sheet. And so we've got A0 and A1, enable, ground, V-, V+ are all at the top of this chip here. There's all these pins as depicted in the data sheet. So what I'd like to do is get my powers to powers and my grounds to grounds. I don't quite understand the V plus and V minus. Like, why is there a V minus? Is this thing designed to run with differential signals? Like audio and stuff, I guess. This thing emulates, it doesn't emulate, sorry. This thing muxes analog signals, and we're making it a digital mux, which is a little bit weird. I guess you could probably do that with transistors or something, but I don't know. So ground, so that's the blue bus line. Just like that, that's grounded. And it's on the wrong pin. Great. Ground is just where I don't need it. Move that down one. So there's ground. And then next to it is V plus. Some weird reason. This chip is strange because they put the ground and the power like next to each other. Usually you've got like a pin 1, pin 8 situation. So that's ground and power. On the other side, we have V minus and enable. Since we're not dealing with turning these things on and off, enable, we'll put to power, which is the second pin. Where did the wire go? There it is. So this guy right here, we're taking it to power. Since they're reversed, I'll use the short jumper here. Come on. Come on. Get in there. Got him. All right, and then the larger one, we put to V minus. Since this is analog, we don't have an offset voltage. We're not revolving around 0, so we're just going to put V minus as ground. There's that. Bada bing. All right, A0, 1, and 2. Well, we got this little knobby guy right here, and so that center one is common. So we'll put that center pin to ground, or sorry, to power. Center pin to 5 volts. You sunk my battleship. And of course I put it on a bad spot. Let's put it there so that I can actually get to the pins. So there's that, and that'll be switched to the various outputs. Now the question, I'm wondering if I need to have pull-down resistors on it, because if we're not switching anything to this, it should probably default to a 0 state. So yeah, I'm gonna need 2 pull-down resistors on this thing. 2 pull-downs on the 2 lines that are going to indicate whether or not well, indicate the output. Sorry, the appropriate switched mux thing. I don't know, man. Stop making me use terms. 1K pull downs. They could probably be 10K, to be honest. 1K is maybe a little too weak. Well, 1K and yeah. These are 10Ks right here, so I'll just grab 2 of these. And put them, those are these are the 1Ks. I bought a bunch of 1 and 10s because we used them all up so quickly. So those I will put on, well now, which ones are the appropriate outputs? Hold on a minute. Pins, terminal, BCD, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Oh yeah, they're not labeled on the data sheet. The data sheet doesn't tell us what pins are what. I guess there, 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going on either side of the thingy. So either side of the common pin. Well, that's pretty easy. Now I've got this weirdo special tool that I like to use for perf boarding, or sorry, breadboarding. This is a neat little thing. You can print this type of stuff off of Thingiverse. I found this in a drawer and stole it from the FBI, I think. But this thing lets you probe the 2 pins that you want to span and then bend down the leads on the resistor. It's just a piece of plastic. 3Mares just subscribed for 52 months. Where is Princess? She's referring to Willow, my adorable corgi puppy, who's upstairs because people are home, and so she's with people who can interact with her. Next month, I'm here alone with the dog. She'll be down here. She's been relaxing next to my desk often, so we'll be able to have her down here, and then I'll have to have interruptions in stream in order to do the walkies with her. But we did our morning walk, and she pooped about the size of the dog. And so now she's relaxing upstairs while other people in the house are also having Zoom meetings that they can mute. So Basement isn't people-y enough for Willow, yeah. She comes down here now, actually. She comes down and hangs out. So that's good. I like that. I didn't think she would like basement, you know, because dogs generally like to be sort of in the thick of things. They like to be able to see what's going on and bark at stuff outside. Willow has very much found her voice. She barks a lot now. So yeah, all I do is bend the leads, or sorry, probe the leads and then bend them in this thing, and I can cut them to length, and it'll just pop right in there. That's it. That's this tool. It's a neat little tool to organize things. I like things to be nice and neat everywhere, but everywhere but the space that I occupy. The space that I occupy is an utter fucking sty, but everything else is nice and neat. She likes you very much more than she dislikes basements. Aw, that's cute. Yeah, she's a total cutie. She was like guilt tripping me today because we didn't get to play because the space where we normally play was occupied by an early Zoom thing. So she was sulking, looking very pathetic. But we'll romp around after dinner, or sorry, after stream. Stream is my food. No, after stream we'll play a little bit, and I'll take her for a walk and everything. But the OGs are here in numbers. That happens sometimes. People wax and wane. So now I have pull down. Nice breadboarding tool. What is it? It's something that Pace sells, but there's a ton of these things. You can buy them all over Amazon. All the cheap plastic that you could possibly throw at ocean wildlife. But this is a Comform 1. Apparently it's made from Pace, but you can also 3D print. You can 3D print stuff like this, but Comform 1. And basically it's just a little, I mean, I wouldn't trust the ruler, but you just probe the pins, and then you can hang the device in the middle and bend the leads down and cut them if you wish. So that just makes these resistors just kind of fit in. It's actually this is a little bit tall for this prototyping board. I would like the resistor to sit against the surface there. Also, these resistors are annoying. They use they're like 1/4 watt or something, 1/8 of a watt, and so they use the precision, which is, you know, if you're prototyping stuff, use precision. If you're going to go order your jelly bean parts that are going to help you build stuff in the future, get precision, because it's not worth playing statistics when you're tuning something that you're building yourself. And then if you decide to put it into production, then you can worry about the statistics. The statistics of the tolerances of the parts. That's my philosophy. These things are cheap enough that you can buy them in bulk. But yeah, these leads are a little bit small for the prototyping board. They're kind of annoying to deal with. All right. Next, A0 and A1 need to go to these two pins, actually. So that's really convenient. I'll have to get a white wire. Now, which one is this? This one is A2 or is it A1? A0 is on pin 1. I just learned some people use statistical methods in tolerance stack-ups in mechanical drawings. Oh, that kind of hurts. Like, oh, no. I don't like it. I don't like it. Statistics. Well, so yeah, we're dealing with electronics here, and for people that aren't familiar with electronics, parts have tolerances because not everything is built to within the highest and super precision that you're used to seeing. It's like if industry operated like ClickSpring, everything would be super expensive, right? So in order to manufacture these electronic parts in like super mega ultra bulk, it's not a limitation of the technology that we put into making it. It's a limitation in how much are you going to tune this process and reject things that are bad versus making it work very quickly. It's not like we're not building a nuclear reactor here, right? So if we have a pull-down resistor, it needs to be approximately 10K. It could be 15, it could be 11, I don't care. I just needed to pull that thing down to ground. That's all that matters. And so there's always wiggle room in everything. So in resistors, we get, 1%, 5% tolerances. When we're prototyping, it makes sense for us to spend that little bit of extra money to get the precision part instead of just using the generic cheapo one. So that's basically it. That's all we're doing. It just keeps you from you know, having to pull your hair out about having, because if I build an analog circuit, that's when you need the you know, the values that you calculated, and so you have to sit there with a multimeter and measure all of your resistors, and then your multimeter's out of tune a little bit. So you know, with analog that matters. Digital, not so much. Digital's just like signal go in, signal go burr. But with analog stuff, if we ever get to it, it will help that I have all precision resistors in my stocks. That way we can choose a value and we'll get within 1% of that value, and then it's, you know, your op amp doesn't end up acting funny, basically. Yeah, with mechanical, you just linish everything back with a file, right? That's my understanding of how mechanical stuff works. God, my history with mechanical stuff is terrible. Like nothing ever fits. Oh, let me just drill holes for this thing. Mark them with a marker, drill them out. Oh, it looks like this hole is off by like 2 millimeters. Like, that always happens to me. The only way that I've been able to get around it in recent times without wasting my entire fucking day is by 3D printing. That's been the only good thing. The only good thing is that when I put the holes in CAD and I print the holes on my printer, all the holes are in the right place. It's a personal problem. All right, anyway, this is pin 1, which makes it A0, which means we're plugging it into pin 1. This happens a lot when you do stuff like this, is that I'm like interfacing a bunch of different stuff today. And when you interface a bunch of different stuff, you have like pin numbers, pin function, goes to other pin number with pin function. This is why the CAD software for making PCBs and stuff, the air wires are so nice, because you put your schematic into that thing and then you don't need like 2 tables in order to figure out what goes where. You just have a digital air wire that you put into the thing. But anyway, most expensive resistor I ever bought was an oil-filled metal can resistor, 0.005%, made to order. I'm gonna go with $400. If it's like an RF or like an industrial, it was in the, you're saying thousands. I'm going, I not quite thousands, although anything industrial is going to get you there, right? All right, so we want position 1 to go to A0, which is pin 1, 250. Well, none of us got the Price is Right rules on that one. Oh wait, no, Chester did. Chester got the Price is Right rules. Easy. You were also the closest. Ah, damn it. We all failed today. All of us. This is too long. Give me this back. Give me. I need to give the doggy a bath soon. She's getting a little stanky. Got a little stank on her. That's too short. Damn it. Maybe the white wire was the answer all along. She is hilarious when it comes to bath time, because she tries to just leave. It's like, all right, I guess, you know, my job here is done. You don't really need me to be here anymore. And so she just tries to like leave. Oh, pin 1's all the way over there? All right, that'll help us actually, because this wire is way too long. That's not going to help us at all. That doesn't actually help us. Damn it! You're not working with me, wire. We'll just do that. Try to. It's a little bit disorganized. 500-volt DC caps that run the neighborhood of $400 each. Jeez. I'm still reeling about that fusion reactor design that just uses a bunch of just like random capacitors that they found. Like, whoa, we got another capacitor. Let's just wire that up on this Home Depot shelf. Cool. This is, by the way, the numbers rotating with the selector is the most useless thing ever. Where's the, there it is. Okay. All right, so that's in position 0. The same stuff you use for the leads on the resistors, but to cut monocore for breadboarding, a little thing that's screwed. Yeah, people talk about that, and I don't know if it was you last time. Rig! A lot of G's. It's 4 G's. I can't sustain that kind of force. Thank you for subbing with a prime. I really appreciate those primes. They are just like a regular sub, but Jeff Bezos doesn't get money from it. He loses money from it. Anyway, I hear a lot every time I breadboard people talking about making their own lengths of wires. And it is an intriguing thought to do that. You son of a bitch. Okay, hold on. Slightly longer than blue. I don't know if there is a slightly longer than blue. There's a way longer than blue, which is orang. This is the problem with using a breadboard kit of wires instead of just cutting your own. Well, I can make it work. I can make it work. Come on! Oh, fuck! Got him. Got him. Didn't get him. Didn't get him. It didn't. Nope. That didn't. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Well, yeah. Like, what do I have on hand? You think I have, like, your whole setup? It's a great idea, but I'm in the middle of the forest, and I don't have a rock. That's a bad analogy. That doesn't really work. All right, let me do what this guy suggests and completely revamp my whole breadboarding setup. I gotta wait for wire to come in the mail, so I guess I won't stream today. The breastplate stretcher? Okay, I mean, that's good enough. That'll make contact. I got the pull downs. Oh, why are those pull-ups? Those shouldn't be pull-ups. These are pull downs. Probably could just put the resistor in the... Wait a minute. That lead needs to be on positive, and the other one needs to be on negative. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. Everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. I've done everything backwards. I've messed up. I messed it up. I messed it all up. It's real bad. It's real bad. Call mom. Actually, it would have worked. It would have just been the opposite. So I could have started at 8, moved down. Wait, no, I don't need to, no, this can go back. This can go back. Okay. And I'll just kind of, just kind of squish this. So we've learned bang, which is where you tell the dog to lie down, and then you say bang, and the dog goes on their side like they've been shot. It's a horrible pantomime, and it encourages violence. But what she's done is she started doing that for anything she doesn't know what she's supposed to do. So if we try to teach her some of her, you know, like the walking skills and stuff, she'll get frustrated and then just go on her side or bark at me. Like, hep, hep, and then just kind of go down on her side. It's hilariously cute. It's hilariously cute. All right, so that's our control stuff all wired up. Very simple circuit. All we're doing is we are flipping power to either of these, and when it is not flipped, the 10K resistor makes sure that it goes to ground. That's it. Very, very simple. It's simple. Zoom, 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 zoom. Sorry, there's an old song stuck in my head. All right. We got a couple USB interfaces. This is whatever I could dig out of the bin, right? I do have another one of these somewhere, but I don't know what happened to it. So anyway, I've got all of my USB 1 connections here. Shell, ground, D+, D-, and 5 volts. And we have the same thing down here. V, D-, D+, ground. We will be plugging into a device that gets power from USB when the rest of the system is off. So we're attempting to use an analog, oh, why are these to the wrong one? I gotta move those up. Wait, this one's the 309. Son of a, okay, so I gotta move those 2 wires. The problem with having a multi-purpose board. What we're trying to do is we're using an analog mux because it's what I have on me. It's just what I have. It's just stuff that I have. We're moving the analog mux, and we're making it moving the analog mux. We're not moving anything. We're wiring up the analog mux so that it can switch my USB back and forth. I have 3 devices inside of the enclosure for the steering wheel setup, and it gets really inconvenient when you have to change stuff. When I have to change things about the setup. Do I do a multi-jump? Multi-jumps are so... Ugh. They're ick. Multi-jumps are ick. They're big ick. But there's nothing like slightly smaller than the white wire. Alright, multi-jump it is. But I have three USB devices inside of the shell, and I want to be able to switch to them. And I don't need to connect to all 3 at once, so wiring it up to a hub is kind of silly. Instead, we will be wiring it up to something like this. 2, 0, 1. So 2 is actually the further one, so... Oh, no, that doesn't work out at all. Never mind. I want that to go here, but I don't know if I have... I don't know if I have the technology. I just don't know. The blue wire should do it. Nope. Blue wire once again. Yeah, then the white wire is totally too long. Well, I could just do here. I could just do this. Give me that back. Yeah, these breadboarding kits are not expensive. They just sometimes they skip some sizes, so you're forced to do weird stuff. It's all part of the game. I just want to make it neat. I don't want to have to worry about not catching the wires on stuff. Let's do that. That's kind of silly, but whatever. And then we got to come all the way over to here. Probably another white wire, which is not going to make them easy to identify. Go. And then around to this one. Yeah. So somebody was saying earlier. Somebody always says it. It's always a thought, but I just don't end up doing it. Making them all custom. This thing isn't really in a socket or anything, and it's not really designed to be on the board. If I really wanted to make a breadboard-friendly version of this, I could just solder it to a header, and then that header would plug in here a lot more meaningfully. But we are just doing a simple test of the mux. So I could probably also put like an LED on that too. Actually, that would kind of be fun. Let me get some LEDs. I have ones with resistors already soldered to them, so we can install that into the final thing too, just to say which of the 3 devices is actually selected. That could be neat, because our control signal is just going to be 5 volts from USB. It comes in here and talks about whatever the hell he wants. Yeah. Breadboard friendly LEDs. I have a bunch of them. Don't know what happened to them. They're probably on another setup. We probably have another setup somewhere that they're all wired up to. I thought I had a bunch of them. I do have a whole row. Oh, here. Wait, is this where they are? Yeah, here we go. We'll use 3mm LEDs. These 2 right there. I could make it do like device 1, 2, or 3, but could I actually do that? I don't think I can. Not without altering the yeah, I don't think I can. Because it's counting in binary. So we'd have, I mean, I could just have it display the binary number that's selected. That's what we're gonna do. Wait a minute. All right. This is what we're gonna do. That was the idea. What's wrong with me? Okay, so we're going positive, and so that means that the lead with the resistor on it, as I've wired these before, goes the negative. Or sorry, well, the resistor goes to our control signal. The other one goes elsewhere. Let's see. If I do that, then that works out. And we just have our 2 numbers just sitting over here. Makes a weird voltage divider out of the whole thing. That and that. There we go. Cool beans. So that will indicate to us which one is selected. Next, we wire the USBs. So our input, rather, the computer is going to be on this one. And then the device that gets switched, we'll just put on the one over here. All right, so the computer, I keep saying that, yeah, the computer is what's going to power the device, because I'll use this when everything is off, unless I'm using the Granite Devices one. So the V bus here needs to go to power. I guess I could just do it very obviously. Yeah, we'll just do it very obviously. So V bus here. And then, of course, we're wiring the two, the two bus lines we have wired up to one another on the top here. So next is a ground. I guess I'll just use another red wire for that, because that red wire was a perfect length. Not very well color-coded. It works. So ground, and I'll just put that over here, ground. Put it over here. Put her there, lad. Okay, put her there, and then this one, we need power and ground on this one too. So I guess what I'll do is I'll move this one in a row, and then we'll plug in behind it. So I'll just select, it's 5 volt there. Choose a spot. 5 volt, the minus, the plus. 5 volt, the minus, the plus, ground. Well, now you got generic game show theme stuck in my head with your comment. Like that, and I guess we could plug in like way over here, which will cover over everything. I just need to make sure that we're on the right spots. The minus and the plus are right there. So we'll take some longer wires. I guess it's either white wire or green, because green's the next size denomination, and it's like huge. With a very long wire. So the minus is going to plug in to one of the sides, and I guess I can choose whichever side I want. It's 4 and 4 on each side, and then the outputs to the mux are on the lowest, on the bottom of the chip. So actually, the common is going to plug in from this header. Let's do that one first for the minus and the plus. So the minus, I guess I'll have on the right side, which needs a much shorter lead. Here's the minus. No, why are they always between lengths? Ugh, it's always never quite right. So I gotta use a white wire, which is gonna make it super long. Should have spread this thing out more. That's like way too long. No. Ew, gross, ew, get it off. Another red wire? That's weird. There, whatever. I'm starting to not care about aesthetics, and I hate it. Slightly longer, which I don't really have. So that are huge lengths, huge tracts. Or I have to do a multi-jump. Man, you know, like, sometimes you just want the wire to be the right length, but it never is. Okay, so I can move this whole mess further down. No, I don't want to do that. Little Krendor grunt. All right, I'll just have to use it. It's too long. All right, so that one's there. Then let's see, position. Well, number 1 is the... Okay, number 4 is at the bottom position, so number 1 would be all the way up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll put our USB thing on number 1. So D minus is on this side. So we'll go from 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go to D minus over here, which is next to the power one. It's always power, the D plus and minuses oppose the pin next to them. Which is the weird way that USB is set up. Ah, my cable! Ah! It was very loud. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop. So that's it. So it's just madness. It's just complete madness over here. Complete madness. I try to stay neat while breadboarding, because the neater your setup is, the easier it's going to be to troubleshoot. That's generally what I do. Especially like if I'm wire wrapping, I am super duper duper clean about the setup. This isn't working. Hold on, I gotta move the power and ground and stuff on this. I have to do what we did on the other side, which is just go to the side, because otherwise I can't really plug it in. That's the case. So we'll just move this stuff over here, and then we'll take these out. Why isn't that plug working? Ah, it's just the wire was misaligned. God, that is so disorganized. Anyway, don't worry, don't think about it too much or you go crazy. So that one is ground. Oh my God. The layers, when the cables start layering on top of itself, things stop plugging in so cleanly. That's where you run into all these problems. Goes to power, and then this whole thing should power off of its own USB. So I plug that in there. Okay. There's no filter caps or anything on this. We're just trying it. Good life advice, I guess. It shows you how generic life advice is. All right. God, I think somebody turned up the heat. I'm like dying. I need cables. I guess I've got this for the computer, and then we'll plug in the Stream Deck on the other side, maybe. It's probably sending a moderately complicated signal. So we get this, and we check initially by plugging this into the computer. Oh my God, all my USBs are all filled. I got a 7-port hub sitting over here. How did I fill that? No LEDs. LED. LED. Do LED. No LED. Oops, my cable came out. This thing. The USB wire is a little stiff. There you go. So yeah, the selected port between the two, or between the 3 devices, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 is everybody's off. I could have just 1 LED per device, because we don't use that 4th position, and then 0 could just be the joystick. So nothing is lit up in normal operation, and I have a special connection to either the motor portion of the Granted Devices controller or the this one's a very dim LED. What's going on with you? Hey bud, you feeling okay? There you go. That might be the way to do it. I don't know. If I'm not ever going to put a 3rd USB device in there, and I don't suspect I will, then I can just do why isn't this working all of a sudden? This thing slip out? Ugh, fuck. Fuck, this fucking connection's bad. Doesn't connect with the breadboard nicely. I think because it was part of an octo pedal setup and not meant for the breadboard. I have to like hold it down. What happened? Why doesn't anything work anymore? Chips aren't getting hot? No. What happened? What do you do? Yeah, I need to move this to, we need to redo this. I just need to throw the soldering iron on it quickly and make it into a more breadboard-friendly device, because it could threaten to hurt my computer if it fails. So let's just do on its side. Everything in the microcontroller bin should be a breadboarding friendly device. Let's get the biggest iron I got. This thing is hot. I gotta watch out for it. This iron heats up so quickly that I accidentally heat things up to soldering temperature before I can like swap tips and tricks, tactics, tips and techniques. Going to heat up as many of the pins as possible and just gently pull out the header. And then we'll clean it up and we'll put a new header on there. I saw a Reddit post about the Engineer SSO1 solder sucker. I thought about participating, but I figured I'd let the nerds talk about it on their own. But yeah, everybody was head over heels with it. I love it. There's also ones that use shop air. The ow, it was very warm. The solder suckers that use shop air, and then you don't get like a burst. It's just a constant suction, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, there was the ever-present advocate of the of the solder suckers that that have an iron attached to them. I don't really want to wait for an iron to heat up before I do that, but I guess if I was doing a lot of through-hole sort of refurbishing, that might be a pretty useful tool. And I think the shop air one is the most simple of them all. You can buy or find a little Venturi hookup, and then you could put that on a tube that goes to the iron tip. I should do. But the silicon tip on this, it was funny, in the thread, everybody was talking about how you can buy spare tips, and it's like they're hard to find and expensive. Like, what the hell? Like, it's a 1/4 inch silicon rubber tube. You can find that all over the place. I bought a bunch of it for Burn the Subs. 1/4 inch silicon rubber tube. Just find one that's optically very clear. And they're like, oh, but they're not high quality enough. Blah 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 blah. It's like, shut up. Like, this is fine. I don't know that I'd want to blow lead aerosol into my shop. Well, that's true. If you catch it fast enough, I guess it won't get all the way through the Venturi. Maybe. There's the big iron on my tip. Big iron on my tip. All right, let's see. I need 4 pins. I don't think there's a pre-split off 4 pins. They're always 3. There's always 3 pins in this bin. Well, that one is the one that I should have used. I don't know where this stuff went, but the super long header pins. Because these I could do the same thing with, have them stick through, and then use the top for like probe leads. Yeah, I should do that. I should actually do that again. So I'll just do that. Just stick this all the way through. Ah, some of them aren't sucked enough. I need to suck them more. Well, let me suck this a little bit more. Sorry, I'm emphasizing a particular word in there. I wonder what's going on with that. Where's my sucker? There it is. Go. That is very satisfying. I'm making a USB switcher. They're not official silicon tips that cost $8 for the same day. Yeah, you just buy the stuff by the fucking yard. You just find the good stuff, the clear ones. And that's it. So here's what I'm doing. I'm using long headers on this thing, so I can plug this into the board, and then if I really want to, I can put scope probes on the top. I'm really feeling perverted. Normally, I would attach this to the breadboard in order to solder it so that I can keep heat out of it. I don't really have that option if I'm soldering only on the underside. So if I hold this, hopefully with my finger not hitting that last pin, I can use the first one that I solder as a bit of an anchor for the others. And I have a feeling my finger is in fact touching all of them. Yep, oh yeah, that's definitely touching my finger. Ow! All right, so now let's solder these others, and then we'll have a USB port that actually stays in the prototyping board. Then we can vet out whether or not USB switched through one of these analog muxes is going to function, because that's the question, is whether or not whatever powers that mux can keep up with USB communications. Oh god, the solder that I use is not really all that important, but if you have to know, it's Kester. What is it? It's like 0.4 millimeter. There's like a different Thorndale. I keep seeing stuff about Thorndale. Let's see. DOM, 3-year warranty. What is the series of it? I don't know. I think it's 6040. SN63 PB37 6337. That's what it is. It's 6337 from Kester. Keister. Nor'easter. That's a word for butt. Okay, this goes in here now, and it won't wander around. Now my connections, I know, are what they're supposed to be. Yes, sir, yes, sir. So why did it stop working? It just like randomly stopped working. This is a mess over here. I really don't like it. But we are just testing stuff. I don't need to, it doesn't need to be perfect. There we go. So now the LEDs light up. Why leaded versus lead-free? I was going to buy lead-free just to A, irritate chat, and B, because it's actually pretty good. They figured out the formulas in the 10 years that lead-free has been around, 10 plus that lead-free has been around. But I ended up accidentally buying a mix, which is fine. It's fine. So this is what I use. But when you buy solder by the pound, it lasts a long time around here. Cool. So that'll allow me to switch between the 3 devices. Device 1, device 2, device 3. Kester or Loctite multi-core are pretty good flavors. For Loctite multi-core solder? Is that like from the GIF where it has like multiple channels of rosin in it? So yeah, that's the Max 309 doing some switching. Well, not really, actually. It's just that switch doing the switching for the LEDs. But we have power coming in through USB. We have our D- and our D+, and all the wires do this, but they should be okay with it because it's just USB 1. So now, I'm gonna grab my Stream Deck and get it off of the hub that it's on, which is sandwiched in a bunch of boxes down here. There it is. I have a little USB hub that facilitates, damn it, the wire's under literally everything that's sitting next to that area. This hub is what I move from computer to computer in order to move my Stream Deck and the camera and the mixer from one device to the next. Now, which one's the Stream Deck and which one's the Logitech camera? I think the one with the ferrite is the Stream Deck. Fuck. Well, my webcam's now frozen. The face cam's gonna be all effed up. Oh, let me just get some of these USB cables out of here, and then I'll reinitialize my stupid thing with the thing. What is that? That's my mic cable. Okay, hold on. So if I go to face cam. Okay, so I need to deactivate and then reactivate this thing. Properties, deactivate, reactivate, and the video's all screwed up. Look at these wonderful Logitech cameras. I've never seen something so grainy in my life. Yeah, I should have rolled credits over that. I don't have the means to roll credits. I should make some fake credits that I can have, you know, fly up. Oh, in order to initialize this webcam, I need my Stream Deck. Oh, neat. And I didn't consider this. So let's plug it in and just see if we get device 0 to work. This is relying on a lot of stuff to go right. It does not. No? 0, 1, 2, 3. None of them activating my Stream Deck. So that's problem number 1. And it might be a D-, D+ issue. Let me plug this into the face cam really quick so I can get it back. Hold on a minute. Hold on. All right, don't make it weird. Bada bing. And then set up face procedure. Nope. The face cam and the microscope are similar, and so Stream Deck confuses them when it's been when one of the cameras has been disconnected. Let me try restarting the software. Quit Stream Deck, quit, and then start it up again. Stream Deck. Boop. This is all stuff that we've had to discover by breaking things historically. Set up face. Well, it didn't flip to the scene, which is a little weird. It should have flipped to the scene, but it did calibrate it with my settings. So at least now I don't look like I'm under blue lights. So there's that. There's that. And the frame rate's good? Yeah, okay. Cool. So, that being said, where did we go wrong? What our problem? What our problem? Let's see. We are on this device, which has a solder bridge on it. Look at that solder. Is that? No, that's not a solder bridge. That's not. I refuse to accept. I refuse to accept. Get closer. Not a solder bridge. Ha! I'm the wiener. So let's see. D- over here. D- over here. Damn it. I was hoping that would be it. Might just be that this thing cannot handle the speeds that we are giving it. I can try and see if, I guess, like a signal gets from one end to the other, but when we plug in the Stream Deck... Oh, I got the power mixed up. That's part of it. Power's mixed up. We got the wrong power. The moon's small. Moon's too small. We got small moon right now. Yeah, small moon. Did you guys get to see small moon? Because we had small moon. The moon was small. It was actually called a wolf moon, so we had 3 moon wolf going on outside. And then I guess we're going from ground here, so now all of my pins are not discombobulated, so now we can actually perform the test. And plug the Stream Deck through the mux. Probably should have put it to port 1. Ah! We got power, at the very least. Digital communications? Not entirely. Things are a little strange in Stream Deck Town. The backlight is lighting up and off and not really quite doing what it should. Okay, you get out of there. Double check that I'm on all the right pins. Doot. Yep, that is that. So I'm on all the right pins. D- is definitely on D-, D+ is on D+. If I switch to a different channel, I'll move up 1 so that it'll be on channel 1. I felt something else unplug. What unplugged? Everything's still plugged in. All right. So move this up 1. Channel 4 is right next to the mux pieces. This one wire is really messing with me. It's very easy to unplug. Oh, gotta be careful about that. This thing's powered. Just rake the pins. Ugh! Get out of here, stupid thing. I get a different jumper for that. Yeah, it's just a power line. Expensive piece of equipment to test with. Well, if it forces me to go to my Stream Deck XL, then it will have succeeded in at least a task that I've been meaning to get to. But yeah, it kind of ups the stakes a little bit, right? There, now it's getting power from across the board. I'm gonna move this over here. This got real sloppy real fast. But then again, we're only testing to see if the mux can handle USB. It doesn't appear like it can. And then that's not selected right now. A little more stable in the power front. That should select it. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing is going on here. All right. I needed something with enough bandwidth. That's basically why I chose this. It's also going through a lot of wire to get to where it is, but I think the Stream Deck can handle that. One, two, three, four, three, two, one, two, three. That should be the channel that lights us up. So, what could it be? What could it be? Let's look at the way that the 309 hooks up. So I've got A1 and A0. I've got an enable pin that when enable is 1, so 5 volts, it'll work. We know that this device works at even 3 volts because we use them in my keyboard project. We've got common A, common B, and that goes to 1 through 4. 1 through 4, we had that hooked up. I moved them down to the next one, which is pin 5 and 12. V minus and V plus. V minus is on the pin 1 side. Make sure about that. Let me unplug the computer from the setup, actually. So we're not powering our circuit while we look at it. So that one right there is enable. Pin 2, enable. That's going to 5 volts. V minus is going to ground. I don't see any solder bridges on there, although the soldering is a little sloppy. Over here, we have A1, ground, which is going to the blue one, which is ground. And then we have V plus, which is going to 5 volts. Damn it. Everything is right. Everything's fine. Ugh, this is just a mess over here. But there's not much to the hookup. I mean, it should be pretty simple. This maybe is an instance where I could go and use the jumpers instead of using the wires like this, and actually just have the wires jumping over to the spots. Let's do that. Let's redo, you know, any source of drama in the circuit is usually going to revolve around sloppy building. So that's where I generally like to attack first. So I'm going to take all that stuff off, and we're going to plan for this thing. Unfortunately, that overhang on this keeps us from seeing exactly what pin is what. I guess we have one row that we can access if I put this in its most forward position. So I'll do that, and then I'll do ground over here. I'll use white wire so it can get way out of its own way. Actually, red wire is perfectly fine. So ground is the second pin. SH, I believe, is just the shield, so I don't really need to involve that one. So that one is ground, so that goes here. Damn it. I need my tweezers to supplement my giant friggin' sausage fingers. This pin is ground. That barely reaches. Oh, come on, man. Stop doing this to me. Just gonna make sure that everything's nice and neat. I'll use jumpers to do all the USB connections, and I could actually do multicolor in order to signify which one is D minus and D plus. Just so we know we've got everything organized and neat and straight. I don't know if that's the case. Well, if that is the case, then plugging it in while it is hooked up, which is what I did, should have worked. Should have? Should have. Should have worked. There. Now those are lined up. If just to satisfy my own need of organization. Should have. Okay, so now put this up on the scope so you guys can see what I'm doing. It was a very simple test, and we probably should have run this test at the end of yesterday, but I'm actually going to take these and do this. Put them right up next to each other. That sort of threatens to make a connection there that I don't want it to. Well, first off, I just sent the resistor into orbit. I got it. 10K is not too much. No, this should be activating the mux by all means. Might have to like put LEDs on the channels of the mux to see what's going on. Oh God, what happened to you? You poor thing. Oh my God, it's all falling down. The whole house of cards. It's all crap. Breaking down around me. Okay, there. Now we can, hey, you come back. You give me this. Right there. There we go. Okay. That just gets those out of the way a little bit. Good, 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 good. Over here. These are the inputs, so I'll get rid of those too. Wait, no, those are the switching channels, so I have to put that back. That one goes back. Goes right back here. Those are the switching channels. On the the commons. Wait. No, that should be A1 and A0. Oh! Chat. I messed up. I messed it up. Everything is wrong. The switching channels are pin 1 and 16. So those are these two. Those are the switching channels. We weren't doing anything with those. Or if they were just going nuts. Yeah, all we need to do is we need to just get from here to here. That's why we got red wires. Wait. No, we need to go all the way down here. Damn it, I had it right before. And it was fine initially. It was perfectly fine. I ruined it. It's all gone to crap. That one, get this one. And there it is. Yeah. Oh, and that's not on the right channel anyway. Hold on. This needs to go up here. This one right here. There you go. Fixed it. I unfixed it, and then I refixed it. Okay, so we need D0 and D minus and D plus right there. And so I'll use some of these short ones. Just gotta kind of fish for them. Now really I should be using green and white, I believe, are the colors for D minus and D plus, but oh, those have solder on them. Ugh. I hate it when I do that, because they don't fit into the board properly. Use one black wire, And then whatever I can conjure up 2 of that don't have solder on them. I do have I have a set of the jumpers that's untouched, but I don't think this project is deserving of them. Black and yellow. Why not? Why not? Why not? Those are striking enough that we can figure out what goes where. Another yellow with no solder on it. So we're making D minus the yellow wire, paradoxically. Flip them. We'll make minus. The black wire will be minus, and the yellow wire will be plus. So yellow plus. I need 1 more ground jumper. There it is. And so the commons. This one's too long. This is why this takes forever, is because I have to be choosy about the wires. So take those 2, and then wait, are those lined? D plus, D plus. Yeah, they are for some reason. Huh? That's weird. They're aligned with one another across the 2 USBs. So if I wanted to, I could put 2 jumpers in there and just see if the Stream Deck will work. Well, we'll do that next. But first, I need that one there. There's solder on the end, so it doesn't want to plug in. There it goes. This one on the first channel. And then I want this one to the common. And then this one to the second channel. Or the first channel. And I flipped that around. What are doing? Why doing? What doing? Why have you done this to me, chat? Why would you do that? Okay, so there. We're wired up to channel 0. What is going on? What happened? Why are you guys being mean to me? All I hear is farts. It's exhausting time. That's the effect that you guys have on me. All right. Oh, and then there's just good jumpers just sitting right there. Whatever. So this is all wired up correctly now, and my I don't know. Hey, it's not on me, man. You gotta ask them. They're the degenerate flatulators. Oh my god. That's the Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund. Let's see here. Oh my god. Oh my god. You guys are wondering what's going on right now. I have hooked up a physical device to channel points because this is Twitch, and about the highest brow humor that we can possibly reach in here is fart jokes. And the fart jokes are coming from a random random sound generator. It's like a dollar store sound generator that we took apart, and we found out that it has a positive activation signal on the button, and it's 3 volts. Well, the ESP8266 is a Wi-Fi chip that costs $3, and it has almost exactly 9 output pins at 3.3 volts. So we just hooked them up to one another. And then I happen to have from our usual, like we used to do Teardown Fridays. It's a little too expensive for me because I'm not really making any money off of the stream. But every now and then I will like go to Micro Center and go to like the bargain bin, take something apart. That's what enabled us to make the button for Tom Thinks, is that we had the button pads sitting around from a Teardown Friday. So we had a Teardown Friday, and I took apart this bathroom speaker, and the bathroom speaker had a Harman Kardon speaker cone, the same one that's in that transparent Apple Macintosh speaker that's vertical. 100 bits fixed it. 100 bits wouldn't pay for the parts in this. But anyway, so that speaker we took apart, I happen to have this Harman Kardon speaker sitting around. We hooked it up to the fart machine, and it's like actually pretty loud. And it's loud enough that actually the most powerful fart in this thing kind of hurts my ears a little bit. Not really. I mean, it's harsh is mainly what it is. And we put it inside of a little closing enclosure, like a little snapping enclosure that I was going to use for other stuff. That enclosure gives it an unreasonable amount of bass. That speaker is too well driven by this cheapo little fart machine. Does your dog respond to it? I don't know. I think she does a normal thing. Like if you want a response out of that dog, you're not going to get it. The corgi puppy, when she gets scared of something, or when something makes a noise that's not allowed, she just simply looks at it. She just gets quiet, looks at it, ears are pointed directly at it. Her initial response to things like a dog getting aggressive and stuff like that, she gets out of the situation and looks back at it quietly. That's what she does. The other night I was taking her for a walk, and it was completely perfectly still in the neighborhood, and my foot slipped on the curb and went shoof, and she went burp, 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 and then froze. And I was like, all right. So I made the noise a bunch of times so she was familiar with it and knew that it wasn't something attacking her. But if she really gets scared, like when she bumped into a table and knocked a bowl off of it, she'll bark and get the hell out of there, and then never again will she trust that object. So the fart box being one of those things that can kind of scare her to a degree, she would probably just look at and get used to. So I guess we'll find out when she's here next, which is not going to be today, because there are other people home and they're doing their own little web conferences, and so they close doors, so the dog, being a dog, isn't getting locked in the basement. Worst case scenario, it would induce her to fart. If you got scared her just right. We haven't gotten a lot of dog farts recently, and in spite of training class having used cheese, and us not knowing whether or not her body is used to cheese, she has not actually been farting all that badly. I say that, and for some reason, because I guess Twitch chat has trained me, I say that and I leave all this room for wiggle room in the phrasing. So it sounds like she's been farting this whole time, and only they just haven't gotten worse. But the point, she hasn't been farting at all. I need to specify that. All right, let's see if this works now that we've rebuilt it. Nah, Riri. Yeah, you're a Riri. Cool, nothing works. Oh, I didn't put a ground pin on that. As I get older, I'm afraid of farts. This is like a Halloween fun house in here for you. It's the Halloweenies. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0. This LED is very lackluster. I don't know what the hell is wrong with it. It must have been damaged at some point. Okay, so that's our control signal, so we know there's good signals there. If I were to plug in this thing right now, it should be connected to the 0, 0 position, because the 10 kilo ohm resistors are pulling down the 2 pins that have wires that go to the 2 control pins of the mux. Muxes are fairly simple things. Oh my God, do I have to hold everybody's hands through everything? I'm literally about to plug in the Stream Deck. Everybody wants me to usher them into the stream. Hey, welcome. Welcome. Let me tell you exactly what we're doing today from the very beginning. Wasting about a half hour of my time. You fucks. You don't have to be here the whole time. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's kind of fucked. All right, here's our alternative test. Okay, so since this thing is 1-to-1, we can see whether or not the Stream Deck will connect over the length of USB that we're giving it. The answer may shock you. Too much cable. Too much cable. Possibly the jacket of this wire needs to also be soldered, or needs to be connected, I should say. Not soldered. So that one is ground, and the one next to it is shield. So I'll take another wire, another red wire, over... where's my wires? Yeah, so first thing is first, we need to get this setup to actually work. And then we can see whether or not I can... Because I don't think there should be any issues with this thing functioning. I think the analog mux can handle USB communications. That was something that we didn't even look that up, because it was just basically an ASUME. It's still flickering all weird. So I probably need to plug it in a little closer. If you guys don't know, this wire right here is plugged into where I program microcontrollers, which is one of the Steam controller like little pucks, and it goes out that wire around to a hub. So it's basically Stream Deck to this plug, to that wire, to the Steam controller thing, to that wire, to a hub, and then all the way back to the computer. So that's a little bit of a trip for the USB to take. It's a powered hub, so we'll have to just plug into it directly. So I'm gonna unplug this. I mean, that there still could be a problem with the wiring. That still could be an issue. So which one is the... This one is the plug? Or is it my mouse? No, nothing else turned off, so I think that is the one. And then I'll plug in right there. That gets us a little closer to the computer. Oh, whoops, that's still plugged in. Okay. Is somebody lying about their D- and D+ positions? Who's lying to me? Why would you lie to me? D bus to plus, ground to minus, shield and ground to minus, 5 volts to 5 volts, D- and D+. Let's flip them. There's really no other way that this could be... Like, why would this be failing? This is as simple as they get. This is always where you get burnt on these things. Whoa! Okay, did not like that. It was not very appreciative of what just happened. Hopefully, I did not blow it up. I don't think I did. Must construct additional pylon. I can hear that. I can hear that in my head. Try linking the connector boards to each other with jumpers to rule out the breadboard itself. Why do you persist on telling me exactly what I'm doing? I would focus this shot, but my Stream Deck isn't plugged in. Let me vibe, man. I know how to do this stuff. It was also always in the cards that I would do that, so. Hello, hello? What's up, Lucas? So, V-bus is definitely connected to V-bus. Ground is connected to ground. We only have one tiny little loop of wire right here. Uh-oh. I might have broken my Stream Deck. No, it seems like... I mean, it's flickering, which is not a great sign. There it goes. Now it's solid. There's definitely nothing happening between these two. Why? Why would that be, though? How's that even happening? I don't think we're introducing enough noise just with our little breadboard thing. Unplugged the Stream Deck and chat became unruly. Hey, this tends to happen. It should be recognizing as my Stream Deck and plugging in, you know, like right here. I think maybe the connections on this board are a little bit sus. Dun dun dun. Let's see if we can find another board to plug USB into. In the meantime, I'm going to plug in my Stream Deck to assure myself that it's not fucking destroyed. Hello, welcome back. Still works. Good. Capacitance between traces. I mean, we saw like nothing happening on the deck, so I don't know. I think we'd be okay to putz around the way that we are. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. Oh yeah, this thing. Man, we gotta learn how this thing works. I gotta learn some of these debugging things that I bought recently. I got like a J-Link for super cheap from China. And with that J-Link, our hope is that we'll be able to take the processor that the Omnipod uses and turn it into a development breadboard. Put the chip and see, I don't know, it might be a lot, it might be like way too much work, but it would be nice if I could turn it into a something that I could program things with, or you know, so one of these boards that I make stuff out of. Because then I wouldn't be creating so much waste. The amount of waste that I generate, not even counting poop. I don't see any other USB breakouts. I don't know why I would have them. A lot of the USB stuff that I have in here is, of course, already associated with a microcontroller. It would be somewhere in the generic pinout adapters over here, and I just don't think I have anything. But I do have some connectors that I think I might be able to put onto... I might just be able to solder headers onto them. I thought I had like a USB wire that had a port at the back of it, but I don't know what happened to it. I don't know where it is, or if it's safe. Show yourself. Nah. Okay, yeah. Let's see where I've got USB connectors. Herp. All right, let's see here. Somewhere in the magical bins, there should be a couple connectors, and another one of those breakout boards, actually. I bought those USB 3 breakouts to do exactly what we're doing today. So you could play with USBs, but, and, you know, install USB into stuff, but I don't know what's going on with it, why we're not getting, why it wouldn't be, like, functioning, why it's not making a connection. I mean, maybe the contacts are a little weird. Maybe they're a little greasy from being around me. Could be any of a number of things. Any of a number of things. Any of a number of... Where are these connectors? They're not in there. No. Not in that one. Wait, what is that? No. Irrelevant. Let's see. That's all full of LEDs. My God. This one has screw terminals, and there's the USB connector. Ah, got him. Got him. Oh yeah, we're on the right camera. All right. Are you just saving that one for after the fartalanche that we had earlier? Stream Deck looks like it was possessed. It was doing some weird stuff. It was doing some weird stuff. Voltage drop. I don't... Well, okay, so I'm suspicious of this board. There's no real reason for me to be, but I'm just thinking that maybe it was rocking back and forth and not really connecting properly. So, to eliminate it, I have this. That is also USB 3. Ah, damn it. This isn't as helpful as I thought it would be. I really only need 4 wires to connect to it. So maybe we solder 4 jumpers to it, and I go into the board with that. Perhaps. Quarter cable air compressor. Man, when I don't put what we're working on in the title, man, a lot of people come in and ask what's going on. I guess that's on me at this point. I have some already cut jumpers, and I think they're in here. They're cut, and they've just got frayed cable on the other end. So those would be very, very, very useful to me right now. And of course, finding them is going to be nigh on impossible. Maybe they're in the other one. The organized one. Where's my organized wire bin? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, it would be right here. No, they're not in here. Oh, wait, yeah, there. Oh, no, these I made into... Those are not going to be useful to me. Because these won't make a connection with what's there. First one. Yeah, well, that's okay. It's on me. Trying to make a USB mux. We were working on this yesterday. And I want to do right by this thing and make it work so that if I need to troubleshoot my steering wheel setup, I can just flip a little knob and it'll connect me to a different USB port. Well, here's one of them, rumored to exist. Rumor status true. All right, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do, chat. Try to stay with me here. Yeah. These two wires will never be the same. Dun dun dun. Ruined forever. This bin is pissing me off. This bin is just ridiculous. It's crazy. It's just a big rat's nest. Okay, so copper DuPont wires are magnetic? What? These? No, I don't think so. They're not. Actually, I can feel a little bit. No, they're not really. They should be copper. I guess in some cases they use something else, but don't worry, man. You don't got to apologize to me. A lot of the shit that I talk against you guys is completely unfounded, and I'm being very rude. Like, you guys need to realize that I'm just being a dickhead to you guys. That's sort of the relationship we unfortunately have. Hey, it's just Philadelphia colors. Blue and yellow, apparently. Well, it should be gold. I guess it's blue and gold. We know that, and we have the fart machine. Some of y'all. Y'all. All y'all, all. Alright. I guess I'm going to use this to hold them up. Maybe that'll work. Come on. Hold these. Jesus. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. Okay, there. Iron on. Solder on. We just got to figure out which pins are which on the actual USB connector. I'll just drop these onto the pins. That's all we got. That's all I got. Dear God. Okay, through hole USB 3A. There's so many different types. How am I gonna do this? Let's see. There you go. That's a DigiKey. Hey, so we'll get a datasheet pretty easily off of that. World of y'all is all y'all's. But then if you're talking to all of them, it's all y'all. Datasheet. Right there. That's, yeah. I can cover for my actual farts. Pin number. Oh, there it is. Pin number 1. So VBus minus plus ground is 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 on the bottom row. Going from, are we looking through the, we're looking, are we at the top of the thing or the bottom of the thing? Oh, I hate this. Are we looking at the bottom of the board or the top of the PC? I think we're looking at the top of the PCB, which would mean, well, it's the row of 4. They're pointing at that one. if we're like this, it would be the same. Yeah, so we are actually looking at the underside of the... Thank you for specifying. Ugh. That's not the one. This. Okay, this is looking at the bottom of the board where you would solder this. So the same orientation that I have it at. So we know that this one all the way on the left is V-bus. God, that is... They make that any worse to deal with. So we will solder our first wire to there. Now, this is just like a temporary setup. So we're really just kind of muddling our way through it and just getting stuff connected so that we can vet this out. We figured that might not actually be the mux that's keeping this from functioning. It might actually just be either the breakout board that I have or some other, you know, little factor along the way. So I'm just trying to eliminate things one by one. First things first, get rid of the board that was kind of shaky in its connection. I'm literally explaining it. I'm not answering any more of the questions like that. I'm just done. I'm just done. You guys have worn me into nothing. My patience is gone. Sorry, I was at a funeral. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, the intermittent connector is like one of the most frustrating things. Ooh, that's actually not a good join, is it? Oh no, maybe I did okay. Maybe I just did all right. Maybe, just maybe. We're gonna make it. Father's patient's funeral. So I'm cutting the wires a little bit short to what I originally did, and then trying to solder them onto here. These are going to be very fragile connections, but we at least know that they're connected to the right thing. See how that one like folded immediately? I'm kind of a little nervous about that. But I'll just alter the wire color back and forth, and then I'll have something that I can plug into the board. Really, the way to do this and not make it be completely stupid is to get a prototyping board and then drill out the area of the connector and mount this thing and allow it to be soldered down to an actual PCB. Because this will break. This will break very quickly. I don't think I like the soldering on this one. I think it's not really that well soldered. That's a little better. Okay, and then last one. Oh, ooh, that's bad. I meant to alter the wire color. Meant to go back and forth between them so I could tell them apart. If I have both the minus and the plus on the same wire color, I'll get confused. I get confused. I mean, I guess another way to do this is to lay the wires down and then put just like a dollop of hot glue on top of it. Hot glue kind of holds electronics together. It holds your really stupid setups together. Not that great in the field, but it's very nice to have when you're doing this kind of stuff. All right. Check. If I wanted to be a crazy person, I could own this whole thing out, but I don't want to be a crazy person. So this is positive. This is going to break off like immediately, isn't it? This one is negative. Then this one is the plus. I think maybe that board, well, no. I thought maybe the board would have mixed up plus and minus, but I guess that's not the case. So positive D minus D plus ground, D minus D plus. Okay, so now we can check to see if the Stream Deck functions at all when plugged in through that. It doesn't matter. It's not worth my time. Any weird stuff going on with the soldering that I just did, as long as it's not bridging a contact, and it's not. So we don't need to make everything perfect. Oh, this side isn't plugged in. It's literally just plugged straight in. I don't understand why it wouldn't work. I'm looking at all the connections right now because it's just strange that this just would not, it just refuses to work. Because we are directly on positive, negative, plus, minus. Yeah, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't connect properly, unless for some reason no, the wire on the left, that's this, and it's not plugged in. It doesn't matter. This is plugged directly into the computer. Right now we're not even getting power on the Stream Deck. Oh, because that connection was really bad. Nope. Strange. I'm a little perplexed. Are you getting power on this board? No. No, we are not. Why isn't this getting power? The keyboard and mouse still work? Yeah. This thing is plugged in. This is plugged in. I got positive and negative going here. Nothing else is plugged in. I should be seeing an LED light up. Oh, this kind of slipped. Maybe that slipped out a little bit. Yeah, that connection's not very good. There. What number am I on? Go to 0, go to 1. That should be 1. That should be this LED light up. But it's not. Heat, no heat. Nothing connected. USB is plugged in. Where's my power? Oh, this is a little... That's a little slippy. There's my power. Okay, so there's power. Plug in this. I love it when you troubleshoot something and like less stuff works. Well, that turned off immediately. Now it's back on. So that would mean that this might be backwards, in which case flip these and flip these. Because the data sheet was stupid. Now it's sapping all the power out. Why would that happen? Why are you sapping my power? And this wire doesn't seem to connect very well, but... Oh, there's that back. Okay. So right now that's not connected because the LED is on. So if I do... Oh, wait, no, that is permanently connected. But it's not coming up with anything. Flip the digital lines. Nothing. Give it a second to think. All these connections are kind of bad. Nope. Flip it back. We should mostly be protected from any shenanigans that we're putting it through. So why can't we get this to work? What's going on here? I think USB's had enough of my bullshit for right now. Let me unplug this fully. Just give it a second here. Think about what it's done. I think the hub might have depowered it. That or it's just these connections getting weird. As our perf board does weird, you know, as I knocks things on the perf board, the connection to all the different pins and stuff can be a little shaky. And the advantage of solderless breadboard is that we can change our setup on the fly, but the disadvantage being that things aren't exactly as connected as you might assume. So what the heck, what is the identity of these pins? I mean, this is where I should just ohm it out with a multimeter, but oops. Because we've got the, the worst data sheet ever, where we don't know reference PCB layout. We don't know if we're looking through the top or the bottom. In which case, pin 1 and pin 4. So which one is which? Because I'm looking at the physical device. I don't know which one's pin 1 and which one's pin 4. I put it right next to this drawing, so you would assume that it might be that way. In which case, pin 1 is over there, and that one is positive of a bus. So I had it connected properly when nothing was happening. Let's see if I can find another data sheet. Unfortunately, this is like as close to, what do we have? Featured product. HTML data sheet. Oh my God. It's just the mechanical drawing. Through hole USB 3 pinout. Not helpful. not even a little bit helpful. Yeah, oh yeah, pin numbers. That'll surely tell me exactly where everything. Anger. Anger is my middle name. I mean, logically, the one all the way on the left, you know, they're not going to flip it inside of the housing. So if I look at that, we know power is on the right of the tongue. Power is on the right of the tongue. So that would mean that this one is actually power, and I had it flipped. So then this is positive. Everything's powered up right now. Let's unpower it. This one is positive. That means this one is D+. So that goes to here. This one is D-. And this one is ground. Let me double check. With the thing facing down, the tongue facing downwards, this over here is 5 volts. 5 volts going to, I plugged it into ground. What is wrong with me? Ground and power. The one next to power is D-. I got that one wrong too? Are you... How am I getting this so wrong? All right, this one is D-. This one is D+. It's literally the same. It's like directly connected. Motorized desk from Costco. What? We asking Twitch that. You guys ask Twitch these questions. See, there's something appears to start to happen. We're not using the muxes right now. We're just plugging this thing in. But I guess this Stream Deck is just like, no, I'm good. I don't need to really like finish connecting. Yeah, and then nothing's happening over there. What does the software say? Software is useless. Stream Deck software is not good. So what if, let's unplug this. What if I go directly to the D- and D+ over here? So that's power, D- is next to power. Sorry, yeah, power, D-, D+, ground. Because the pins alternate. Plug it in. Still nothing. I'm having so much trouble with this. I mean, I'm using the Steam Deck because it's a tough customer, right? It doesn't, it uses enough data to power a screen. That's a purposeful choice for me to do. I don't know why I'm having trouble with this, though. That's strange. Because this shouldn't be that dramatic. Unless this connector is giving me trouble. Kind of seems like it is. Could the USB hub that I got have like special? No, these will definitely have the data lines on it. Strange, strange, strange. What other USB stuff do I have that I can just kind of test this with? Because the Stream Deck might just be a tough cookie. And this one might just be not something that you can run an extension on. Although I think I have run it with extensions, so I don't know what the problem is with that. It just doesn't want to communicate. And if I flip D- and D+, what happens? Because we know power and ground are okay, because the thing lights up. Or if I just flip these and blame the this breakout board for having told me lies. That kind of like intermittent. Yeah. When you plug it into an actual thing, it just goes blank and then turns back on because it's actually speaking properly. The USB, like USB 2.0, doesn't. There's nothing with like the ID pin is just to tell which device to charge. Basically, it's like, should I get power or receive? Should I receive or provide power to this pin? And none of this stuff is using that. None of this stuff uses that. So if I plug in here to my USB 3 hub, see what it does? It initially flashes and then boom, we're back. So what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What did I do to deserve this? Ah! Move that over a little bit. Let me see here. I see 4 pins in there, and I see 4 pins in here. There should be no reason why this can't. Or if I run it from the... Nah, that's not it. Brrr. I do not know. Yeah, I'm a little stumped on this one, chat. I think maybe the Stream Deck is being a little choosy about where it's getting its power. Maybe there's a big power drop. Although there really shouldn't be a big power drop, especially not on this board. These muxes are very low power. They're moderately low power. They do run off of 5 volts, because we were using one in a 3-volt system with a Pico Pi, and they work perfectly fine in there for getting key presses. Although human speed key presses are fairly slow compared to USB communications. What else? All of our powers and grounds are all sorted out over here. D- and D+, we tried backwards, but nothing happened. And the Stream Deck doesn't really come all the way up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's that crazy about how super duper stable the power is supposed to be. It's a little odd to me, though. I'm going to be asking it to do the joystick and a couple other things. Joystick, Arduino, and the motor tuning thing, which those could be slow, sort of. I don't know if, you know, the Stream Deck works on USB 2, so if the Stream Deck doesn't work on this, I don't trust it to do that switching. With the power delivery up to a few hundred milliamps, but we're coming from a powered USB 3 hub. So powered USB 3 hub, 5-volt line, into my board. Not a whole lot of electronics here. And we're trying to get data continuity across these. So it's literally just jumpers is all I really need. I connect the jumpers and then nothing happens. What if I take this and I put it here, and I take this, connect it in the way that we know, where V-bus is this wire, that's the wrong color. V-bus, and then the next one, since that one's voltage, it's going to be D minus. And then since that one was that, this is a D plus. Literally just 1-for-1 on the cables. And that one is ground, because it's all the way on the left of the connector. They're not going to, like, invert the connections inside of the connector. That would be ludicrous. So if I do all that, it's literally the simplest setup that we could possibly have. We're not taking power out of it or anything. I'll go back, Stream Deck, right here. I'm about to flip out. I'm gonna go psycho. Oh wait, no, I need this. There, we get the proper response. And the Stream Deck is up, and it works. Did I just plug it in wrong all those other times? All right, so now unplug and move this, put V-bus here, plus and minus there, the other one ground here. And we move this back to its original location. And I add jumpers to get D plus to D plus and D minus to D minus, which is off by a pin. Hold on. What the? There we go. Just introducing all of the failure points back in. There's the issue. See how it doesn't flash? Could these muxes be doing something weird with the power? I don't think they would be, but I'll just check. Nothing weird. Oops, hold on. Gotta get that one back in. That's so strange that we were able to use them so easily on the keyboard. But here, there's just something a little wacky going on. Just a little wacky. This is definitely minus to minus, yeah. Brush to brush. Minus to minus, plus to plus. It's just over the distance. I guess it just really doesn't like it. And this one's plus to plus. This one's minus to minus. Same with this. Almost looked like it wanted to come back. Aha! Power drop over distance. There. So this thing is so power hungry that going to the bus and going around to the other side was too much for it. Too much for its poor little heart. So now we'll put the mux in here. Who got mux all over this thing? All right, so with the mux in there, I'm going to this pin for the minus, this pin for the plus, and we're going to ask it to go just a little bit further. It's yellow wire to yellow wire, black to blue. Nope, gotta make sure that I'm on the right one. Yeah, it didn't like not being the first stop for all the power. We'll actually do one below. We'll do that one because that's what's selected. Okay, so now we have the data lines going through the mux. And we know that this thing can be powered. It's trying. Nope. Whoa. Default screen. One. That's no. This should be it. Yeah, so this is an initialization thing. So if I take this and unplug it, plug it back in. Come on, buddy. There's a little flash of life, but I think we're just gonna get default screen now. Yep, there it is. So let's see, that one is 2 pins up from the bottom, which is, it's 4, 3, 2. So that should be this one. Or no, yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because this is input 1, and if I plug this in, then there's no data continuity and we get the same response. Little tiny flash. We'll try all 4 just to make sure. Does the Stream Deck's identity change from the computer's point of view because it's going through the mux? Nah, it's just gonna, yeah, it's just passing a signal. That's all it does. It just connects the common pin to the output that we've selected. So now we're on number 1, the larch. Little flash, default logo. Default logo? Default logo. Test them all. And default logo. Hard to see. My Stream Deck's kind of been through it. There's all this crap all over it. Nope. Bop. And the last one. A little flashy. Nothing. Default logo. Okay. Now it could be getting weird about the length of the data signal that's sort of going through it. I can just verify that we are selecting the appropriate mux by taking this one out. And we'll just put that over here. And I'll take 5 volts into the common pin. Five volts into common, and I'll just take one of my LEDs and I'll put that on this position to ground. Your basic LED confirmation kind of setup. I'll just unplug the Stream Deck for now. Boop. So if I am plugged into there, then it should be 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1. Hello? Hey, cool, man. Thanks for not working. 3, 2, 1, 0. There's 0, 1. And that should be lighting up. Ah, there's 0. So this is 1. Oh no, that's 8. Wait a minute, did I go in the wrong direction? Well, it's not lighting up in that position. Oh, probably because it's backwards. Okay, or it's just not. All right, so maybe if I reverse these, it'll work a little bit more logically. with my logic. I was kind of afraid of that, is that I just kind of discombobulated something and we weren't selecting things properly. Hello? 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 What the heck? Why wasn't it lighting up at all? Odd. But this one. There it is. Okay. And last check. Just check that first one. So 3, 2, 1. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 1. So 2 wasn't lighting up for some reason. It might be a wiring thing. 0. Which direction am I going? 1, 2. 2. 2. 2. 2, 2. Yeah, I think that's a soldering thing. Yep, there it is. Okay, so let's fix that real quick. No, it's the soldering. Syphilid 8. Hey, thank you for the 24 months. 2 years. Where's the time gone? Yeah, you started subscribing around when I got my car inspected last. I got pulled over for it finally. I wasn't able to run from the cop this time without looking like I was running from the cop. They were out in the center of the road, and I drove right fucking past them. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. But meanwhile, I've been scrambling to get my car inspected. I've had to repair literally everything on it. So, still don't have ABS. I got to do my little troubleshooting for that. Yeah, so this is the problem right here. The problem was inside the house. Look at that. It's not even trying to connect. Where's my solder? See, the thing is, this is like totally Bush League. So if we get USB to connect through this, then I'm good on trusting it with just about anything. Well, we weren't necessarily connecting this to every time. I went from this one to other ones too. But it's still not looking great for the Stream Deck actually connecting. I'm not gonna count this as a win yet. I can't seem to get solder to the end of this thing. What's going on? What is this? Like the pin damaged or something? Or is it just sapping all my heat? Oh God, what have you done? What have you done? I need tweezers. Tweezers. Hold that still. Oh, good. Look at that solder bridge. Look at that beautiful solder bridge. You get out of there. You stupid solder bridge. Look at that. God, it's terrible. Everything ruined. Oh, come on. It's not listening to me. All right, we'll just have to remove. I gotta get rid of solder. We'll use the wick. Wick is usually one of the better tools that you can use. This stuff's a little different from what I got before. There. I got 2 pins to worry about. Yeah, I gotta get solder to both of these. Oh, it works amazingly well. Only problem is how expensive that stuff is. I guess the price has gone up or something, because I don't remember it stinging so much when I ordered solder wick last time. Okay, where's my solder? I don't have any depth perception on the microscope. I'm literally viewing the exact same video that you guys are seeing. There. This one's still a little sus. Are copper prices up? That explains all the copper theft videos that I've been seeing lately. All right, here we go. So now we know we have a connection. I'll just test it, just to be nice. Okay, cool. So we know that one's connected now. Back here, we can actually do a good test of it. Plug this one back in here. Yeah, I was counting down from 8, and I had the 2 wires inverted, so I guess it probably still worked. But, okay, yeah, these 2. And then we're going from this common. Yeah, oh yeah, that's 5 volts. Get that out of here. This common here to this device here, and we're 2 pins out. Puts us here. So now that's initially connected. $10 per solder wick, as you know. I don't think mine were quite 10, but that's close. You might have gotten a different length, but yeah, it's like, you kidding me? Trying to unearth some statue of what, copper? Yeah. All right, let's see what we got. A little bit more confidence in the setup. I thought we could get away with just kind of slapping this whole thing together, but little issues along the way. Promising. Ooh, nope. Didn't do it. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I don't think we can keep up. Not looking good. Not looking good. So 0, 1, 2, 3. We're not plugged into any of these, but actually, wait a minute. Let me double check. Address. This would be this one here. Sorry, this one is A0, this one is A1. So this one's lit up and we're connected to 1. So actually, those are, I think, backwards. 2. That's A. So that's connected to 1, where we are right now. We tried them all, but just to make sure we got this correct. Jesus. All right, fine. Do it over here. We should see everything come up on the stream deck. It could be still that this little extra distance for the data to go is no bueno, because this thing was so sensitive to power that if we did that loop, it was too far for it to actually power up the stream deck. But I don't think that's the case. I think maybe the mux can't keep up with USB communications. I guess we could put it on the scope just to be thorough. I got the probes out and everything. So let me get some scope wires. Where are those wires at? A yellow and a black. There we go. Ground to ground. And we'll look at the signal as it comes in and as it goes out. So another advantage of doing the breadboard is that you can poke in on all the stuff going on. You can just attach USB to it. So this is going out. And this is coming in. Well, I don't see any activity, which is nice. So this is always nice. Is that the D minus side? I think that's the D minus side. This would be the D plus. You get barely, we're at 10 volts. Hold on, 10 volts. I'm going to turn back to 2 volts. There we go. There's a little data packet we just saw, just kind of moving around. Let's see, trigger, menu, edge, channel 1, and this is about there. So yeah, we are seeing a periodic call. There it is. Fuck thumbs. What's up? All right, so that's the signal going in. Here it is going out. Got our positive. Boom. Well, there is a packet there, but it looks like it's probably a little bit mangled. I could get both channels on screen at once, but I'll do a single trigger so that you guys can look at it. Here, check this out. Boop. So you can zoom in on that. You can see, well, there is data there, actually. There is some data there. But keep this fresh in your mind, because I'm going to plug into the other one. Let me focus the oh, I can't focus the camera because I don't have a Stream Deck right now. So if I plug into the source, which is on the other side of the mux, and I plug into it there, and I hit single trigger. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Mux cannot keep up. Signal into one end is not showing up on the other. Sag. Big sag. Yeah, maybe I could find a digital mux. I could probably also just find a USB switcher. I mean, whatever chip they used in this thing, I would find an equivalent in the size that I can work on and get that chip and then use that chip in the steering wheel project. Let me undo all this stuff, because that was our smoking gun right there. We gave it every opportunity to have the appropriate signal at its output. It took us a little bit to sort out all the power wires and, you know, which part of the mux was connected and all that stuff. Those are the usual little foibles that you run into when you're working with this kind of stuff. And that's the kind of perseverance and troubleshooting that you need to get familiar with in order to run a successful test setup. And our successful test is a failure. But that was always in the options. That was always part of the game. I wanted to know if my muxes would work for this task, and they don't. They'll work for the switch. Well, if the control signal is 0 to 10 volts, I got to take a look at that. If it's 0 to 10 volts, it might not work in the thing that I'm planning. The module, the synth thing that I want to build. Because muxing and demuxing are like the number one thing that I can do to that. This goes out behind the monitor. This is something I need to work on too, is this stuff. No. Max 499, 8-to-1 mux for USB 2. I don't need 8 though. And if it's a max chip, it's going to be expensive. But I guess I'll take a look at it, but let me work with chat a little bit here, huh? Kind of usher them through the thought process. Get this cable back and around. Actually, wait, this goes in front of the monitor because I move it from desk to desk. And so we do game setups is I've got this hub that has the face cam on it, as well as the Stream Deck, and then I plug the mixer into this as well. It's all USB 2, but it's a USB 3 hub. Alrighty. Working. Working. Good for work. Darn. Well, that failed. It happens. It happens. At least we have answers. I'm going to pack this cable up again because I don't really have much use. And then this, I mean, the USB switcher could probably take this apart, and then I would have 1, 2, 3 selectable just using that chip. But I'd rather, I don't know, I'll keep this thing intact in case I ever need like a KVM to multiple computers. I wonder if I could use it on the rack setup. No, because I only have one device there that needs a keyboard and mouse, and that's the server. And it only needs it once in like every 4 years. It was a pitiful failure. Setup was pretty cool. Like that mux setup still works. Wonderful little selector switch. Oops. Boink. Yoink. No such thing, we learned. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I did. Dig key. Oops. Let's yeah, put the Bosch on that. Digikey. So I guess I need a switch, some kind of a muxing style device that is going to keep up with USB speeds. And since we know that there are families of chips that are USB, I figure I can just peruse Digikey and see if I can find something reasonable. Something that's not too obscure, right? Run into brick walls all the time. Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the game, right? And getting to know the things that can go wrong are very important. Yeah, it is. That's a new feature. I've never seen that before. Where it goes, hey, you're about to go to one of those horrible mistyped websites. You really feeling good about that? You good with that? I like that. I like that it does that now, because I often do that. It's not unheard of for me to accidentally go to a weird site and then it captures you. Let's put this up there for now. Let's see. All right, so what are we doing? We're looking for a chip that's going to switch USB 2.0 from thing to thing and allow us to flip it into 3 positions. We could get a switch that does that, like a literal, like physical switch that would do that switching. That would be the most caveman way to do it. My thought was that I would use some kind of a mux, and since we have this little encoder that's a little bit more permanent than just flipping a switch or turning a knob, I would like to use that. And it's also small, and it's also in the position that it would be in, it would be kind of tough to manipulate accidentally. So I would like to put that together. I need a chip. I need a chip to do the stuff. Integrated circuits. I don't think it's an interface. It might be in specialized. Logic, perhaps. It's not linear, and we're not audio special purpose. We are special purpose, but that would be specialized, maybe. Are these all just limited to audio? Yeah. 4-channel electronic volume. Hey, neat. I see line driver. Audio transceiver. Jeez. Cool stuff. Okay, we're not, this isn't our category. Specialized. 10100 switch. Addressable switch. I think that's not what we think it is. Oh, let's look at addressable switch. Address sequencer. There's some weird stuff. In stock. 2 out of 7,000 results. The in-stock selector is very powerful. Oh, this would be something that you'd flip remotely, I guess. Really? You just took us to the... This isn't... In-stock is also depressing, yeah. Well, it's a very powerful... Tube package. What do you do? What are you? You're just like a remote flipper? Yeah. PIOA, PIOB. Dual channel programmable I/O one-wire chip. PIO outputs are configured as open drain, provided 20 milliamps, continuous sync capabilities, operating voltage of up to 28 volts. I guess if you wanted, yeah, something to turn on a system remotely, I guess. Lead time 52 weeks. God, I got a couple of those going on right now for the back order of the high-rose connectors so that we can work on burn the subs again. A neat little chip. Wait, how much is it? $3. Fuck that. Hell no. You could do that with different chips and just make that work much better. Specialized IC. Air core gauge driver. Analog switches. Let's go all the way down to U. EU. USB. FIFO. Controller. Port protector. Power delivery. Mass storage peripheral controller. Well, none of those really seem like the right thing. USB controller is, I think, a different class. What is a FIFO? First in, first out. What's up, Groovy? Port protector. I mean, technically, but not really. And then power delivery is not something that we're exactly... I think USB power delivery, I have a feeling this is to get USB 3 to give you the appropriate amount of power. This does that communication, maybe. What is it? Well, yeah, I know. I'm just looking at what... I guess there's not really much of a... minimum order quality. They're only $1.09 if you get $2,000 worth of them. I'm just looking for a data sheet. I just want to know what it does. There's no data sheet. Oh my god. You'll probably go to Maxim's website and figure that out. Okay. So yeah, this is essentially what I'm doing in order to figure out where, because I know there are chips on here, and obviously Pseudomaze has been reading ahead and already told me an answer, but I would rather get to the answer with you guys so that you know what this is like to do this kind of stuff. So, boy, these are kind of a limited amount of choices here. Interfacing, I guess, that sounds about right. Analog switches, special purpose. Well, that's what we already have. Multiplexers, demux and mux for analog. Codecs, which are physical chip. Controller, digital synthesis, drivers, transceivers, filters, I/O, modules, sensors, signal terminator, telecom, UART, not really, voice recorder and playback. We did a whole college electronics lab using analog to digital, digital to analog, and we had a counter that would put it into RAM and then play it back. Kind of a neat little project that didn't involve like a bespoke microcontroller to control. I just want to look at filters, active filters. What are we filtering? Butterworth. Oh wow, they got like everything here, man. Huh. What if I could get a chip that actually does that work for me for doing my my lapel mic? Well, that would be an audio anyway. Buffers, repeaters, splitters? I don't think we're splitting, but it's more like we just want to switch between USBs. I2C, HDMI, low voltage, dual signal, USB. Really don't need the crazy one. 50 results. I'm not going to do in stock. Oh my god. Whoa. Okay. Take it easy there, Chip. Jeez. It's like in the horror movie when you try to move away from it, it extends. Red River USB? Nah. High-speed signal conditioner. Red River? Is that like a codec? What is that? All right, I gotta look through the other list. These are scaring me. Redriver and buffers. That's what they all are. They're all the same thing. Input output de-emphasis, pre-emphasis. What does that even mean? All right, let's get the hell out of here. This place is scary. IO expander, filters, drivers, encoders, telecom. I don't think that really. Modems. I guess, but that says analog. It specifically says analog. That's why I'm wondering if this is like audio. Yeah, I don't think any of these are like USB specifically. IC switch, SPDT. Analog switch, mux demux, SPDT. I actually use a chip like this in the glucometer because it has to calibrate itself. The sensor has to calibrate with a voltage level. And so one of these chips exists to flip the circuit that's sensing over to a very tightly controlled voltage regulator. High-speed signal conditioner on your hair. The water just flies off of it. Yeah, I don't think these are the right thing. So what if we do USB to switcher? Yeah, it's like they're really annoying because you networking solutions? Really? That's not what we're looking. No. Yeah, the little SOT 23 6 pins, they're tough to find because there's not much standardization on the markings. You've got to kind of like hunt through a lot of different markings. I mean, you're like, oh, it's a voltage regulator, or it's a single diode. Not for new designs. What category are we freaking going into? Hold on. We're not serializing or deserializing. We're not really a controller. We're not analog. We're not terminating signal. Why does that get its own category? We are kind of specialized. Telecom doesn't necessarily make an incredible amount of sense here. UART, no. I mean, we thought it would be a buffer or a splitter, signal splitter, but that didn't really work out. I'm gonna look at telecom. These are gonna be expensive chips. We know this chip exists. It was a freaking like, it was right there in front of us. It just was censored. Go back to specialized and see what they have. 2-channel I2C multiplexer. Well, hi there. Hi there. 4-channel I2C, 4-to-2, 2-to-1 switchable DVI HDMI receiver. All the way down here with the U's. LMNOP, QRSTU. Where's US ultrasound? Charger emulation. What? USB to ATA and ATAPI bridge. What the hell is that? We'll just put USB in there and hit apply. Didn't we already do this? Deja vu, I've just been in this place before. Interface, specialized. Specialized interface. Hold on. This is where it all broke down, right? Because it was all like audio. One wire, I2C, USB, UTMI. UTMI. Weirdo. They just say it's interface specialized. They don't really specify what the interface even is. It just has like a package associated with it. 24 SOIC. What do you do? What are the specifics? USB to 1-wire bridge chip. Whoa. USB to 1-wire. A Wumple Dumpler? Yes, it appears that it is. That's weird. So USB to 1-wire, what does that allow you to do? Or does it put USB on 1 wire? Oh my god. Not recommended for new designs. I get it. I get it, guys. I see that. See what you're trying to tell me. So where would you use this chip? You've got USB coming in. We got stuff happening. There's Max 8881. 40S. And you got some other type of interface over here coming out. Okay. USB to one-wire adapter. Weird. Okay, anyway, not interested. Specialized USB. Description. Moisture sensitivity. What do you do? Why would I buy you this? Man, things really break down when you get into like obscurity on data sheets and stuff. Dual pole single throw switch that combines low distortion audio path with low off. Yes, that's another audio product. Another audio product. I think that Wumple Dumper statement is getting more and more true as we get into the weeds here. Yeah, it's weird. So I guess interface is implying audio, and so we're kind of, it's not really switching the digital USB lines. I feel like we got close, but I just don't know what category it would possibly fall into. I mean, we were getting there. It's not really data, like a mux, an analog mux, like what I have, does kind of get into data acquisition. That's sort of the reason that I have those, is for data acquisition of sensors. Although data acquisition would be something like your analog to digital converters, right? Category on Mausers, semiconductor switch ICs, USB switch ICs. Yeah, I guess they don't break it down into that here. I mean, specialized. What about logic? Hold on. Nobody ever considers logic. Comparators, counters, FIFO, flip-flop. Party generators, multi-vibrators. That's a different website entirely. Latches, not quite. Gates and inverters, no. Gates and inverters again, no. Shift registers, not quite. Switches, signal switches, multiplexers, decoders. Might be here. Yeah, what is logic? What is love? 8-channel data selector, 16-key encoder, 20-key encoder, BCD, bilateral, bus bar, bus switch. Anything on the U? T. Nope. TTL, high-speed CMOS, 1 of 8 decoder multiplexer. I mean, BCD to decimal line decoder? Nah. Quad bilateral switch. Yeah, it's kind of like in these categories of like muxes and demuxes, but yeah, I know you got the Mauser category. I'm just curious now what could this type of device fall into in DigiKey's organizational scheme. I don't really think it's specialty logic, but we'll look. Register buffer, 4-to-1 multiplexer, transceivers, 9-bit parity, and/or select. Differential receiver driver, embedded test bus. Nothing. There's some cool stuff in here, though, that I wish I had. There's some cool chips in here. There could be some fun stuff to play with in terms of adding logic to something like a modular rack. Universal bus function. I don't think UBF is a input and multiplexer, multiplex bus, registered bus, USB driver. That's not USB. It's not a universal serial bus, but what is the universal bus? Oh dear God, it's a huge chip. It's enormous. Huh. Yeah, I guess maybe we'll look at the Mauser category. It's not universal serial bus, it's just universal bus. That's really confusing. And if we just do specialized, I don't think we're going to find what we're looking for. There were a couple USBs down here, and we looked at them, didn't we? CPU, port protector, FIFO controller. Yeah. Trusted platform module. Don't mind if I do. 4 results. What even are these? FTDI. Oh no. They're FTDIs. Okay, all right. Mauser it is. Mauser it is. I really hope the DigiKey stuff gets here today. We'll have to see, because I would like to build that circuit board that I got. Yeah, that's true. I could use one category to augment the other one. So this was semiconductors. Oh my god, there's so many choices. Well, we've been told to use switch ICs, which makes sense. I guess it would take me reading through in order to find this, but switch IC seems to be like the right category for us. And then here they've got it split off into categories from there, which is kind of nice, because we have a whole category just for USB switch ICs over here. Look at me. I'm doing it. So there's like 1 billion chips. How many? Where's my total number? I don't use Mauser all that often, so. I have 350 results for USB switch ICs, which is kind of insane. And yet, DigiKey, I couldn't even figure out what category they would possibly put these things in. Good circuit switch ICs. So, like, if I'm looking up the FSUS, perfect part number for us to look up. The FSUS B42. Let's find me the FSUS. Integrated circuits interface. It was interface. Analog switches. The analog. Wait a minute. I didn't want analog. I guess maybe they're counting it as. This is a USB. USB is not analog though. So here's where we went wrong, is that we thought that they would actually categorize them based on what they call the category, and I guess that's just not true. 11 myths about USB Type-C. Dial-up, yeah, it's a can with a string on the end. I don't know, this thing has sus in the name, so I immediately trust it. Bidirectional low power 2-port, so we need more than that. Well, interesting little thing, and then you just have a single control bit going in. Easiest for us is if we have BCD input. So let's see if we can narrow that down. Okay. I would very much like it to be 5 volts, but I don't want to, I'm not going to, package and case, no. Is a control, yeah, no. No, it'd probably be function would be the first thing that we should probably narrow it down with, but hot damn, are there a lot of functions here. What does this one count as? Switch. IC, low, mux is in the part number. So I guess muxes, demuxes. UART, no. USB 2.0, multiplexers, demuxes, and switches. One, two, 6. Single pole dual throw 6? No, I need 2. Maybe 3T I could actually work with. There's 4 to 1 and 3 to 1 too that we can look at. It's Dio. I can only buy 5,000 of them. That's nice of them. That's nice. That's very nice. All right, can't buy it. So you begin the filtering with the package in case. See, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about the. What is this 1 by 4 to 1? Doesn't make sense. What does that mean? Lead time 2 decades. Yeah. Fairchild, Switch IC, high speed USB 2, Swimux, Smux, Shrimux, power management IC, microprocessor, application processor 3G. This seems like a very familiar application. High speed USB number 4321. This is pretty much exactly what I need. Bleep, 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 bleep. Yep, this is it. Control select 0 and 1. This is the one. This is the chip that I need. Lead time 2 years. Yeah, very basic. It's just what's the voltage? ESD VCC 2.7 to 4.4. 4.4, really? And I just put like a diode in there? I mean, like 1/6 of a volt? Yeah, I don't, 2.7 to 4.4. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, USB is 5 volts. Am I gonna have to put a 3-volt regulator in order to power this thing? That's ludicrous. I mean, it seems like maybe they just want like a protection diode in there. Just like a flow control diode, and that'll bring it down by 0.7 of a volt if you use a pretty brutal diode for like automotive stuff. But that's on 5-volt lines. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. This is weird. This is weird. I don't like it. I don't like this. T on, T off, TRF. Where's our maximum power rating? Oh, okay. Up to 5.25 volts. So there it is. I don't know why they listed it so different all the way up above. Yeah, so 5 volts is totally fine. Ground, common, just D minus, D plus. Okay, so we've got all that stuff. The package for this thing is a very obnoxious quad flat no lead. Perfect. That's what we needed. The on semiconductor is out. This one's the FSUS. Yeah, FSUS seems good. It's $1. And I could dead bug that, I suppose. The one you suggested is that too? That's the Max 999. I can work with this. I can work with this. Do I have something like this already? No, that's a different, it's an I2C switcher. It's a different interface. The Max 4 99999. So let's see, let me just take this back to DigiKey. I don't think, if I do DigiKey, I'm gonna have to do like a big order, not quantity. Oh wait, that's what this is? FSUS? No, it's a different FSUS. Quantity 1 on semi, unit price. Can ship immediately. 25,000 of these things in stock. Who's buying? Who's getting? Who is this? Who's using this thing? Max 4999. Now here's the thing about Maxim integrated circuits. Oh dear God, that is a big chip. $7 for one of them. $7. Order N-1. That happened to a lady at a casino. She was playing the slots, I guess, and there was an underflow error, and she said she won $47 million or whatever the maximum integer is minus of a signed integer minus 20 cents. Pretty wild. So they had a buffer underrun, and of course the machine would only pay out a certain amount of money. So I guess she got like a printout voucher or something like that, and so the casino was like, no, here's a steak dinner. I think they settled out of court for a fee. High-speed USB analog multiplexer features low on capacitance. Con! Switching, making it an ideal solution for USB server mass storage market. Yeah, really? USB 2.0, high-speed applications, blah, blah, blah. 8 to 1. I don't need 8. I think 8's is a little excessive. Now, the question is, how do I source, because this is also $7, I'm paying $1 per USB. This one's a nice calm $1.69. Nice. So we're gonna get this one, and I'll see about working with it. Telemetry feed for what? Virgin Orbit. Oh wait, this needs to go there. Now I can actually read chat without swapping windows. 1 trillion miles per hour. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I guess we can go with it. Maybe I'll buy 3,000 of these. You fabricate any PCB in-home with CNC or etching? Just order them from jail. Yeah, listen, they're $5 now. They're $5. Why are we etching PCB? Why would we even consider etching PCBs? I don't even have an etching bit for a PCB. That's where we ran into trouble last week when I was doing the backlighting on my car panel. Unfortunately, I don't have a means by which to get the microscope over to the mill easily. We managed it. In addition to that, I don't have a good angle on the mill to see what's going on. And then on top of all of that, I don't have a bit that's small enough. I don't have like a wedge bit that's small enough to be doing that kind of work. It's possible I have something for the Dremel that might work, but I was unable to get good control of it. We need to do a little bit of work to refurbish this. It's not even US residents. It's like, well, I guess because there's a pipeline between US and China. I don't mean like pipeline. I mean just like parts are very easy to ship back and forth. Because of that, I can do something like Seed Studio and I can get a professional PCB in about the same amount of time as it takes me to go to like JL PCB or Osh Park is what I did last time for the indicator panel. We'll work with those tomorrow. But I don't have a Steam Deck. Do you store settings anywhere besides the Steam Deck? Where's this coming from? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Stream Deck. Sorry, I read the wrong one. God, I think we were talking about something else. Yeah. So with the Stream Deck, sorry, I've totally misread that comment. With the Stream Deck, you have like an editing program that you set everything up in, and you can save off. You can back these up. So that's what I have. The deck itself doesn't store the program. You plug it in, and I guess there's an ID exchange between the Stream Deck and the computer, and it says, "Hey, I'm Stream Deck this serial number," and it goes, "Oh, I don't have settings for you," and you can go in the program and you can go, "Hey, the one that you're calling Stream Deck number 2, load this file and put these settings on it." Yeah. No, yeah. If I plug an additional Stream Deck into this thing, it'll come up as default. I know a couple streamers that have 2 of them. They have multiple ones on their computer. But yeah, okay, so this is the chip. This is what we'll use. I guess I'll order some of these at some point. Hopefully, I probably can't find it. Sometimes I can do this, and then I save on shipping. I don't think this will be possible. I could also get it off of eBay, but yeah, there's no way in hell. Nope. It's too obscure. Let's kind of chip obscura. Okay, well, that's what we did today. I think we're close enough to closing time that I don't want to jump over and, for instance, start soldering stuff, because we'll save this for Friday, this little display PCB that we designed and ordered from Osh Park, and I'm going to give this an opportunity. I want to see what this thing is all about, this little PCB that we had made. I'm used to Seed Studio. I like the quality of Seed Studio. You can get them in any color instead of the default purple. Wait, we could select a color on this thing, right? I think maybe not. I think maybe we could only do this. Anyway, the whole purpose of this board is that we have transistors on here, and the transistors are flipping the LEDs on and off. And so I put a positive signal into any of those, and if it is in any kind of a range, it'll flip our LEDs on. On our other things, on the things that are supposed to be lighting these things up, we need to put transistors into those things that will then send it the appropriate signal, because I think one of them is if there's a problem, the line goes high. I need these to indicate that everything's fine. So we did all the measurements in Fusion. We got all the dimensions in there, and I had them made. I'm a little displeased that they don't lop off that thing, but whatever. These are $5 for 3. I think in the future I'm going to be going through Seed Studio again, because the shipping on those is so long that it doesn't make much of a difference to me. But having PCBs made, even for something that you just haven't even vetted out yet, that's a total possibility. And I'm almost considering looking at JL PCB, or sorry, considering for this USB switcher just making a PCB. I don't think I'm going to do that though. Have you fixed the heat problem? No, but one of our options with the transistors is to drop everything down to 5 volts. So if we do that, then everything's just totally fine, right? If everything's at 5 volts, it'll be fine. I just wanted to have 24, just because it would have been easy, but we're flipping transistors, so we can have a variety of voltages flipping them. I think we can condition the voltages of the signals on the other boards, except, well, the, what do you call it? The Vicor power supply treats it like they're just 2 switches. So if we send 5 volts, we'll get 5 volts back. But then if the 5 volts fail, what then? You know, what happens? Do I put another 5 volt power source in there? Vicor suggests you put like a battery, which is a little weird. So we'll have to figure that one out. And then, yeah, I don't know if we'll have troubles with it heating up. We could drop it all down to 5 volts, but I'll have to look at that. So we'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna end just a little bit early. It's like an hour early, actually. That's not great, but I'm, like I said, I don't want to push like no content on you guys. If I don't have content, I shouldn't be here. So we will get to a lot of these cool projects that we have to do. I want to take apart that mill sooner than later. So let's get progress done on everything else first, and then we'll get to the mill when we get to the mill. I don't actually like the prospect of buying a chip in order to switch the USB between all the inputs on this thing. Well, it's a $2 chip. It's a $2 chip. Yeah, I got all the hairs cut. Every single one, except for the body hair. Oh, see, I can't see so well over here, so I don't really get that as well. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm a new man. I'm a different person now with this haircut of mine. My head is more nimble. I somehow got a haircut and I feel more awake. I don't understand why that happened, but yeah, no, it feels good. It feels good to be on top of one thing in my life. Of course, I got a friggin' ticket. I got a citation for my inspection on the way to the haircut. So, does the puppy recognize you? Yes, she does. She didn't suffer from that. I think because I came back with just the haircut and not the beard cut. And I think she was a little curious about it, but I didn't get barked at or anything. She's too friendly for that kind of thing, you know? Too friendly. She loves everybody. All right. I gotta run. What's the ticket for? My inspection is out for 2 years. The stuff that we've been working on in the shop related to the car, the one thing after another kind of cascade of failures that I've been dealing with, is part of my trying to get an inspection. And I just happened to roll by a bored suburban cop who then lazily did a U-ball and pulled me over immediately. And in spite of my tearful pleas for basic humanity, I got the citation. So, darn. He's like, it's been out for 2 years. I'm citing him. I'm like, damn it. Oh, well. LOL. The last one that tried to pull me over, I actually did run from. I pulled an immediate right-hand turn and then turned into a parking lot, like a big business parking lot, and parked in a spot. And then I snuck out of my car. The cop drove by. So I guess that's karma. Running from the popo. I didn't speed. I didn't speed. And they didn't put their lights on, so I wasn't violating any. Am I being detained, chat? I don't think so. I don't think I'm being detained. I can leave, right? I can leave at any time. There's the end card. You guys can find me on Discord. I'm going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to work on the burn the subs stuff, because that'll look cool, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the cheers, too. We didn't have any raids this time. We had a bunch of raids last stream. We had Cosmo Quest, and I believe there was another raid. Where's the Cosmo Quest? And, oh, I lost it. Distant Cacophony. So you guys check out those channels. Especially Cacophony. She runs a cool stream. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Twitch.